Yippee. All right, so welcome back to our last session of this mini campaign. Little bit of a full recap for you guys, since this has been going on for quite a few months. But we're going back to Ilumelan, a relatively new world that is colonized for the second time, but that's a little bit of a different story, by the astral dominion nearby named Ilune. With a rising pantheon of gods, countries establishing themselves and beginning to flourish and scramble for power and resources in this abundant world, all while the flourishing guild system that was established by the patron god of Ilumelan, Lady Simona, this world has continued to grow in stability and safety. However, a rising giant problem was beginning to threaten the north as the hill, stone, and frost giant colonies that existed on this planet before it was populated were becoming more active. A powerful yet eccentric wizard, Tobias Sinclair, who had settled on this new planet after living a long life traveling the astral sea and studying in Illume, saw it written in the stars that this giant threat would begin to grow. Unchecked, it could destroy civilization on this new planet. So he, under dreams gifted to him by Atola, the dragon goddess of war and art, worked to establish a population of the giant's natural enemies in Ilumelan, the dragons. But with dragons' longevity and slow growth, it would be hundreds of years before they would be powerful enough to check the giant threat, and his attempts would be futile in this destruction. With ample study, divining, and dreams, he was given another option, using a powerful magic item called Essence Pearls, a mote of chaotic weave from the shifting god of the oceans and tide, Marino. Tobias experimented. He explored the ethereal plane in the area, finding a thread, and following it to the untethered demi-plane, owned and populated by an ancient and very bored and lonely primordial of luck left from the world's past. This being, Felgulus, agreed to sacrifice much of his power and burn his demi-plane into the weave for freedom and the ability to explore this new world. With the use of ritual guided by the wish spell and many essence pearls expended, Tobias pulled Felgulus from his plane and bound him to a bronze dragon egg. With this much magic, the body of the dragon was able to advance to that of an adult in matter of minutes. However, because of the chaotic nature of the essence pearls, the option of failure exponentially increasing based on the amount chained together, the ritual was not perfect. Felgulus, while still retaining a bit of his luck magic, could not access the full normal power of an adult dragon, and struggled to recharge his magic, causing him to need essence pearls to recharge his core when drained. And Tobias, wanting to perfect one dragon before searching to create more, continued to consult the stars. A solution was presented to him. He consulted the stars, and through them, Moreno and Atola, who gifted him the map of the stars in the eyes of his trusted familiar Astra, that followed the dragon constellations, and would lead him to a location where a powerful enough essence pearl, which he had named the Essence Crystal, would fall from the heavens. It took him a while to decipher, learning the time the stars would be in the correct location, and in order to continue his research. The star pattern worked its way into his very existence and home as he grew in power. It was eventually revealed to him, when the stars were in the correct place, that the location of this resided in the far north, a giant glacier, the reverberant sheet, which was infested with giants. He took the unfinished Felgulus with him, barely functioning off the less powerful essence pearls, but was forced to abandon him as he ran out of energy, being chased by stone giants. He put him away and made elaborate carvings of the map so as to help someone find him in case Tobias became lost. This attracted the stone giants, curious about the carvings made in their own area, as they did not match the runes or the art. And an excavation site sprung up over time. Tobias continued on north along the path of the stars, stopping in the northmost settlement, the village of Hearths, to stock up and attempt to hire some protection. He did make friends with a small band of tribesmen, the Light Chasers, who helped equip him and accompany him to the furthest point of their land, Ensrune, a giant tower on the tip of the southern glacier. Parting ways, Tobias used his magic and the help of Astra to stay on track throughout the snowstorms that plagued the reverberant sheet, to the location of the Essence Crystal, as he had taken to calling it. However, Power calls to power, and the frost giants of the area had gathered around it. Their stronghold below, the landing place of the essence crystal, creating a temple there. Evading when he can and fighting when he could not, Tobias burnt himself out, but managed to decimate much of the giant stronghold before entering the temple. However, Astra was killed during one of these many scuffles, but resurrected back in Tobias's tower, as per one of the many runic rituals he had set up there, hoping to guide someone to him if he failed. Entering the Frost Giant Temple, it awoke to defend itself, and the result of such powerful magic and the Frost Giant's manifestation, Tobias was caught up by its frosty breath and frozen in place. His mission failed. But not before he managed to release a small burst of energy into the stars from his divine staff, allowing him to afflict dreams on his old pupil, calling for aid of his divine quest. This is where our adventurers come in. His pupil, Lillian, the head librarian of Wyvern's Wing Adventuring Guild of Rosewick, received this dream and was gifted glimpses of those summoned by the gods to take on this quest. Busy herself with her new adopted daughter, she conceded, seeking out the four summoned. Her mentee from a young age, and now lead assistant of the guild's library, Lydia, a goblin infused with the energy from the angels, who constantly seeks knowledge above all with her stern and demanding demeanor. An ex-adventurer and now current mentor of new guild members and assistant in the tavern, Kieran, who returned from a quest to the north with an odd ring of shadows and a longing for a missing part of him left up there. The grandma of the guild, an elf with a less than clean background from Ilume, Miriam, or Glamma, as many call her, who disappeared off the plane into the plane of fire for years before getting shunted back out into Ilumelan, with a remaining penchant for fire. And finally, a lone adventurer, a half-orc who had foiled many a quest of Lillian and her wife, with her keen intelligence and fighting prowess, Sheila, who had left the guild years ago to travel alone and was summoned back by dreams by the goddess she reveres. Lillian begged them to travel north simply on a hunch, encouraged by the guildmaster, and so they prepared and left. Weeks of travel, growing more cold as they traveled from Rosewick into Vitherfold, they found the location of Tobias's tower and gained entrance, noticed the pattern of the dragon constellations, and climbed to the top of the tower to locate Astra, the re-summoned Tressum familiar, as well as notes on what Tobias was doing and the importance of the quest for the future of Ilumelan. Tasked with saving him and giving the civilizations of the world a fighting chance, they followed his trail, pushing north. They stumbled across much evidence of the rising giant threat, including assisting Oriana Hest, a fire genasi barbarian from the Hearth clan, who burns like the northern lights, in defeating several stone giants. She was the leader of the group who had assisted Tobias in his push northward. She had returned to keep an eye on the stone giants, flocking to the location of the dragons, but was looking to return as the stone giants were marching on her village. They convinced her to help them rescue Felgolas in exchange for assistance northward. However, with the use of several teleportation and illusion spells, as well as many amazing sneaking skills, the group was able to infiltrate the new stone giant stronghold undetected, rescue Felgolas, and bottle everyone into Miriam's Afridi bottle so Kieran could sneak them out via the shadows and crawling down the bottom of a slow-moving river. Their push northward in the cold continued, with a brief stop in Oriana's home, the village of Hearths, for resupplying and relaxing, before taking them over the strait onto the reverberant sheet. However, undead giants, seeing a mortal enemy in the dragon, attacked Felgolas from the sky and brought him down, causing a battle of defense on the glacier as the group, as well as Oriana's group, the Light Chasers, who had hitched a ride north, fought off the waves of those restless undead. With the giants abated and shelter sought in En's Rune, the captured giant outpost, the group stocked up on cold weather gear and went their separate ways. The Light Chasers went further west to watch the travel paths of the giants, and our adventurers northeast, following their star map. After surviving snowstorms and several encounters and avoidances of creatures that populate this area, the group finally came to a peculiar sight, a glacier on top of a glacier. Descending down, they tricked and trapped their way through, including killing the Thane of the Frost Giant clan through a very clever use of a beat of force and the Maddening Darkness spell, he had taken up residence at the location of this essence crystal. They did, however, get the information that these frost giants were guarding this space as a temple to Thrym, one of their gods, who had begun to form a Sicon from the power of the essence crystal. Thawing out a very frozen Tobias, they retreated into his magical mansion to combine the information they had and plan ahead. Tobias had briefly seen this essence crystal in the center of this large creature within the temple, who he had taken to referring as the Cradle, while he was frozen. Using this information, the group planned and supposed, and took a very brief respite. Felgulus recovered his magic, and a very worn-out Tobias went to research possible ways to help the party defeat this entity, as he likely would not be useful with his exhaustion. Kieran approached him, telling him the story of his wife and warlock patron, an archfey who was locked away and secluded in her own demiplane much like Felgulus had been, with a desire to be free, to roam Ilumelan and to be with Kieran. After speaking with her via the dream spell, Tobias deemed that he could do so, although it would cost Kieran some of his power. The ritual was prepped and cast, and Fea, an archfey of death and decay, was brought into this world as a shadow dragon, falling into the arms of her beloved, and determined to help the party with their quest in any way possible to create a safe world for herself and Kieran to live in safely. However, in the process, Kieran lost some of his warlock power as her energy decreased, and has the potential of losing more, depending on how well Fea can maintain control over her powers in the heat of battle. All of the adventures have built up to this. The group, resting for this evening, Fea and Kieran reunited, wake in Tobias's mansion. Tobias is exhausted and very weak from the ritual and wish spell, but is willing to be an escape route back to his tower. Felgulus is recharged and rested, ready to fight for the essence crystal that will help stabilize him in his new form. Fea is quiet and reflective, radiating an unearthly power and a scent of sickly sweet decay as she eats next to Kieran in elven form, holding his hand. The rest of you gathered, ready or not, to fight this giant creature the frost giants refer to as the Cradle, that holds the essence crystal. And here is where we're going to pick back up, as the group is sitting, eating breakfast, and are preparing and gathering themselves for the fight at hand. Is there any conversation that you wish to have? Anything that you wish to do in order to finish these final preparations?
I am filling all of my sensors, I'm filling all of my sensors up with oil.
Okay.
Smart.
Easy.
I'm gonna ask a critical question to Sheila. Can you pass the salt?
Very important.
I will pass salt.
Oh.
Great.
Passing gas.
Mission accomplished.
Guys, Lydia's got the salt now. Nothing can go wrong.
You say that, but with this salt, I could melt snow and ice.
Hey! I don't think I have anything. I've prepared what I can and what I want, so... And we've already passed off, like, any of the miscellaneous items that we wanted to exchange between everyone, right?
Let's see.
Yes, I got big stick.
Yep.
Yes. Just make sure I have that potion of heroism in my inventory.
Yeah, and then I have the stone giant strength, right?
Yes, and Sheila has the storm giant strength.
Yes. Cool.
And so with this, Tobias actually is going to come in with a little bit of a crate and set it down and just say, I was holding on to these a little bit, found them in the depths of my bag, but here is a couple of health potions that might help you out. And you look inside and there are 4 regular healing potions and 2 greater.
I suppose we should separate the regular amongst ourselves, one to each. Who wants to hold on to some of the greater?
Take a greater.
I also have 4 as well that we've yet to use. So, do we want to all take one regular and one greater, and then Lydia can take the extra 2?
That sounds good.
Works.
All right. Cool. So you'll take 3 then, Candle.
That is
right?
correct. I'm sorry, Lydia has spent years studying and reading every book in the library. She knows basic math.
That was Sly trying to figure out basic math.
Hey, sometimes we play characters that have skills beyond our own. Basic
I
math can be one of them.
I have basic math. My brain is just tired.
Exactly. It's cool.
All right. You've got the heroism. I've got the stone giant strength. Was there anything else? We all have some healing.
Well, I think we had a good meal. We're all prepped for the fight. I think the logical thing to do now is to go to bed.
Yeah. Oh, who took the potion of diminution and the potion of invulnerability?
I believe. Ooh, I don't know who took the potion of invulnerability, but I mean, this is a crackhead idea. But if we were really lucky, maybe we can get that potion of diminution into the monster's mouth.
I think Miriam should have it because actually no. Who is the best thrower?
Maybe me.
I have been practicing throwing snowballs at Miriam.
This is true. I feel like Sheila would be good at it, so maybe Sheila should take that. I do like the plan of potentially trying to make this creature smaller.
I'm not convinced that's going to work, though. It's an elemental. They don't even have taste buds or stomachs.
If it has a mouth, though,
Yeah.
it's worth a try.
I have my second troll heart. How long does the one that I currently ate feel like it's gonna last?
You ate it midday yesterday, so I would say, because it's 24 hours.
Okay.
So I would say you have until midday today. So if you go right away, you could potentially get through this without eating the other one.
Cool. Who wants the other one then?
We share it? Can't we, like, make an omelet and put that meat, the heart meat in it?
I think
No.
I think you have to eat the whole thing.
Well, who else do we think is going to be getting hit the most?
Based
Kieran.
on previous experiences, it's Kieran.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he is currently under the effects at the current moment, so unless we're
Yeah,
dallying,
we have to take a long rest. We haven't rested since
No, you guys-
we got
Just took a long rest.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's morning, you ate, you've just taken a long rest, you're finishing breakfast.
Mhm.
Then possibly me or Sheila.
Yeah.
alrighty.
I mean, I'm pretty small. I don't need as much as Sheila, so maybe she could take 3/4 and I take a quarter. Would that work?
No.
100 extra HP. Nice. Sheila, how would you like to be able to regain some hit points?
Sure.
All right, then I'm gonna hand it off to Sheila and say, just make sure to be careful, Lydia. All right?
Sure.
And
Although I can't help but think that there's a outerworldly force set against me. But we'll see.
well, it's because Sheila usually does a bit more melee than Lydia does.
I
so-
agree. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Should Lydia take the potion of invulnerability then?
No, I'm planning on protecting myself in other ways.
Okay.
I might try and if I remember correctly, I was gonna try and distract it, yes?
Yes, maybe you should take that then.
Alrighty.
Alrighty.
What if you give that potion to that phoenix of yours?
Would it work on my phoenix?
You can certainly try.
Oh. So it's potion ability?
I mean, I don't think there's anything in the rules that says, like, you need bigger potions for bigger creatures. So, I mean, I would rule that you... let me do a quick Google search while you continue to chat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it can on my phoenix, then, absolutely.
And then, we still have that shard. I'm looking through my notes. The shard of the ice rune. I don't think Kieran realistically would have been able to attune to it, nor am I sure if he really would have, wanted that. Does anyone else want the shard of the ice rune? It does pretty useful things. It
Could
does.
give it to Kieran's wife.
Ooh. Would Kieran's wife like it?
Could Kieran's wife attune to it?
Well,
I mean, I feel like Sheila might want it, but I don't know how many attunement slots Sheila has available.
I can attune to it.
Would you like it?
Sure, I'll take it.
Cool.
I think it would be, this is Faya speaking, by the way, so I think it would be a little bit better if one of you took it. I'm a little less squishy in my new form, although for future reference, whatever magical abilities I have when I transform, it just depends on how they adjust to my bigger setting.
Yeah. Alrighty. All I'm hearing is that we've given Sheila another way to cast Sleep Storm, so I'm happy.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I'm not convinced ice magic is the way to go against an ice elemental.
I also raise you, I don't know, there's some just usefulness to it, I think, and Sheila's got creativity when it comes to spells, so... Yeah. Alrighty.
Okay, so my brief
I
research
got
says
nothing else.
there's nothing in the rules that you can't give a potion to an allied, like, creature that's larger and not have the same effect. So if you wanted to give that potion to one of the dragons, you totally could.
That could be very useful, especially considering, I mean, I've seen Caldera in action before, and Caldera can get out from an area without being hit very easily. I don't know much about Faya or Felgalus.
Oh yeah, maybe Felgalus should take it, because Felgalus might die.
Our boy
Well, let's
just
be
has
honest.
such horrible
Well,
luck.
Yeah.
Felgalus is not the most powerful of our allies here.
Hey! I mean, you're not
Hey.
wrong, but hey!
I mean, hey, unlucky is unlucky, you know?
Yeah, but I can be lucky too sometimes. He's like pouting.
Hey, me too, kid, alright? Me too.
Say kid, and I'm a being who's been alive for longer than you have and this world has.
It's about the energy, Felgalus, my dear.
He's just grumbling.
More eggs? I slide more eggs onto his plate.
He gets very excited and eats the eggs. You have distracted him from his grumbling.
He's like, I'm not a child. Gets distracted immediately by food.
Stop calling me out.
Hey, no judgment from this peanut gallery.
I know, right?
Alright. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to do? Because I'm currently out of ideas besides just, like, illusion magic. Have Miriam distract. Hopefully kill Thing. Or get, Crystal out successfully without dying. Smiley face.
We used a good chunk of time before we slept trying to come up with ideas, and we didn't come up with a solid strategy. I think our best bet is just to go and pick it up on the fly. Do a Sheila, as it were.
Yeah. Alright. Cool. Then with that, I am going to gently pat Lydia on the back and cast Death Ward on her.
Aww. Alrighty,
Cut.
so with that, for the
Appreciate it.
next 8
And you
hours,
get time.
you drop to 1 HP instead of 0.
What'd you say, Candle?
I appreciate that. I am overall against dying.
Me too.
Ooh, read the second part. If a spell is still in effect when the target is subjected to an effect, not a spell, that would kill it instantaneously without dealing damage, that effect is then negated against the target and the spell ends. So, and you did talk to Tobias about this breath weapon that this creature has, and how if you're smashed via petrified, you would die. So.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's fine.
I am genuinely considering also putting it on Miriam.
I mean, if you'd like, we can always take a little bit of a rest beforehand so you can get those spell slots back. Just take an hour to get ready.
Because
Yeah,
we
but
knew.
then that troll heart would probably expire on Kieran.
I think
No,
it's
pretty
about-
early morning.
probably got,
Yeah,
we probably got like at least hours.
it's like the equivalent of 9 o'clock, we'll say, because you guys had a pretty late night. And the troll heart lasts until 2, I'll say. You took it mid-afternoon. So, unless you take, like, 6 hours to fight this thing, you're not gonna have a problem.
Yeah, because it's a con save, and so, but yeah, I'd prefer Lydia not dying because I feel like Lydia's got also like the weird stuff, and so she's able to do good things. So I think I might also cast totally not looking at people's cons and realizing mine's the lowest, but we're gonna ignore that. I think I'll also cast it on Miriam as well then. A second death ward.
Okay.
Because I'm feeling she's also going to be in the line of fire a lot. So
Okay, so Miriam and Lydia, you've both been death warded. Go ahead and remember that, because I will promptly forget.
I will
Okay,
open up. Don't forget.
All right, and then are you taking an hour to gain those spell slots back?
I'm content with either way.
Well, Sheila still has to attune to the
Oh, right.
the thing, so I guess it just checks out.
Cool. Yeah, sure. Let's do it then.
All right, so you take the extra hour to prepare, to try to attune and get ready for things that come, and you know that you're going to pop back out, kind of in the same area that you popped in. So, are we ready to go?
Yes, sir.
Ready as we'll ever be.
All right, and so with that, who's going first out of the mansion?
I'll go first. Fuck it.
Okay, so you pop your face out of the mansion and kind of pop back in that bottom right corner where you had found. So Tobias had actually put the mansion door against the back of the Thane's seat, and you pop out, and immediately will you make a perception check for me?
Absolutely. And I believe I have bless on this from
Chat, yes you do. So go ahead and add that
Yeah.
D4.
Oh, am I whispering?
No, you're not.
No.
Good.
Thank you for checking.
So a 26.
Okay, so with a 26, as you're popping back out, you hear giant activity. You notice that the kind of popping your face around, you notice that this gate is open over here, and that you see some movement that kind of happens, like briefly walking past over this way. And you see that the two bodies have been rearranged and kind of lain side by side, as well as you hear some activity in the hallway over there. So you guys are going to have to be pretty quiet to try to get these two gigantic ice doors open.
Does anyone have a firestorm?
Me, you should be quiet, Firestorm. Definitely the way to go.
Hey, I think efficiency is more important.
Celia, there are some giants around. Are you still able to do that thing that you did earlier where we went through the wall? Or would that take too much energy from you?
No, it's the staff.
Would you be willing?
Sure, yeah. And I will pass wall the door.
Okie dokie. That's right, you can do that infinitely with that staff. High level magic items.
Well, not infinitely, but
okay.
8 times.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right, so you pass wall that door, and that works very well. And as you're kind of like going through the door, you notice that the door about 6 feet deep. It is rough. It is very rough. But you do manage to make it through undetected, no problem. And you walk through, hearing the giants in the back as the pass wall fades and the door closes. You walk through this enclosed hallway made of ice. Little bits of stone and kind of like dirt mixed in there. And it opens up into a very large cavern.
I am going to begin flying and floating above the ground.
Okay. Oh no, my thing won't let you move. Did you summon your planar ally already, or are you gonna do that,
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to drop yourself in the top right corner. Also, I'm just communicating to you all, because I know how people are with clearing maps, that the gray parts on the map are just because I did not find the map that I wanted to do properly, and so they don't exist. It's just stone wall. It's not that you need to go clear things.
I'm gonna be honest, my brain's more just like, that's my wife!
Sly is a little less concerned with the map and a little bit more concerned with shrimping for her character's wife.
Hey, make her beg for a second. Let's see this art.
Look at how
Pretty
cool
cute.
she is.
Yeah! Badass!
She's so cool. So you guys are in this hallway kind of up here in the north.
Alright, yeah, and once we're through, I will summon my planar ally and use my 9th level Eldritch Invocation and Bamf Caldera. They are gargantuan, so...
Okay. I will make them bigger.
But I will pop them into my bottle, because they can squeeze into a place that's as big as 1 inch.
Oh!
Let me double check. Huge. Large, huge... I think 4 is gargantuan, but do you want they can grow and shrink because they're a fire elemental, so they're gonna be this big. Okay.
Yeah, I just my bottle.
Solid. Sounds good. Should be good there. So while they're in the bottle, to make life easier, you can just pop them into one of the corners over here. So that you can drag them out whenever. So, and with that, Felgulus and Faya both transform into their dragon entities. So you watch Felgulus as he goes from his typical halfling form, getting larger, bronze scales forming across his face as he morphs and nose elongates into the typical dragon snout. And then you watch as Faya, she's rather small, actually, compared to Kieran, so she's pretty short in her archfey. it's kind of like elven in her figure, so extremely sharp cheekbones. Her ears are actually much longer than Miriam's, and her hair seems to like move in an otherworldly way, even though she has detached from her plane in that way. Seems that she's still rather interesting. And she grows, and her snout elongates into almost a pointed beak, much familiar, Kieran, to you especially, as the way that her mask looks when she puts it on.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, you all enter this cavern. It's rather dark in this space, and there's no light come from kind of just like a glow that comes around the area there. All of this is ice around you. This is the heart of the glacier. And you do see a little bit of a waterfall kind of unnaturally pouring from this area. And it kind of breaks the ice at the bottom and then begins to reform right about here. So kind of this area is water ? Slush.
Okay, I would like to hold an action with my Staff of Frost to cast a Wall of Ice if I see any threats.
Yep, I would like to hold an action to use my limited wish and cast Animate Objects on 12 of my sensors.
Didn't you just use your limited wish?
No, I used my wish.
Oh! Alright, okay, cool.
I wanna investigate this thing from... I don't know if I can see it. How light is it in here, actually? This is important.
It's pretty dim light. And,
Alrighty, Sheila, sorry.
so my question to you, Kieran, is how are you gonna go about this not being able to see in the dark?
I have my rapier out, which is the moon, because I forgot that I had solved this problem when I was initially doing things.
Okay.
My packed weapon is the moonlight rapier, so I get bright light in a 15-foot radius and dim light for an additional 15.
Okay, sounds good. I'm going to mark a cute little radius thing on you so that you know how far your light goes.
Cool.
Sheila, do you want to try and do the illusion thing to draw this monster out?
Yes, let's try. We'll probably have to get way closer though.
So, and this thing right here seems to be the altar that Tobias was talking about.
Can I, like, sneak around maybe to, like, this little alcove right here?
Yeah, go ahead. If you're stepping out, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Alright.
Okay.
23.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was totally wrong. We can totally do it from here.
Alrighty.
Well, I'm hiding myself politely in a little corner.
I'm gonna hide.
I like imagine you get there and then tuck your rapier underneath your cloak.
Oh, yeah. I've done this before.
Okay. So actually you watch as Faya jumps up, flaps her wings a couple of times, and then latches on to the ceiling, and kind of like in this a little bit spider-like way scuttles along the ceiling, kind of tucked in the shadows of her new form, and she settles in. Like, you actually watch as she kind of settles in right here, and just for a moment you look away and you look back and you can't see her. So
Legolas, hide, my friend.
Felgolas just looks around and then he kind of hunkers down next to Sheila and tucks his hands over his nose.
I love him so much. Never change, Legolas. Never change.
The two contrasting dragons crack me up. All right. So, Sheila, with everyone in position as they seem to want to be, what would you like to do?
I'll cast Major Image out there and make it look like a group of humans walking towards the altar.
Okay. And what's your spell DC?
19.
All right. So with that, as the group of humans begin approaching the altar, you watch as the ground begins to shake. Icicles begin to crash from the ceiling, and the water here begins to swell and grow. And this large creature steps out from behind it, seeing that his altar had been disturbed, and he opens his mouth and lets out a mighty roar as he steps forward. It seems that your spell worked, and for the time being, he is bent on the illusions. And with that, I think it's time for everybody to roll me some initiatives.
Yippee! Our hold action going off, yes?
Yes, your held actions will be going off. I'm going to take your held actions in order of your initiatives, just to make life a little bit easier for me. Alright. Oh, look at that. And I didn't put his HP in, because I'm silly.
It's not letting me roll for his initiative, however, let me roll for the... Oh, there we go, the Phoenix did. Okay,
No,
cool.
I see it.
Phoenix, cool beans.
Damn, Lydia.
Oh, wait, it
Lydia's
was the
like,
24.
let's go.
Yeah, but I still can't roll my initiative. Would you mind adding my initiative to the board?
I would not. I need a moment, because I have a couple of things to roll.
Candle,
Oh.
I just think Roll20 turn order doesn't like you specifically.
That's what I think Roll20 turn order always just goes, fuck Candle, specifically.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so sorry, Candle. If it makes
Because
you
I'm
feel
Canadian.
better. Yeah,
It's 'cause I'm
probably.
Canadian. Okay,
If it makes you feel better, Roll20 character sheets hate me with a passion.
yes, they do. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 2 dragons and a phoenix and a big boy. Alrighty, and so with that, as this thing appears, seeming to only notice and is hell-bent on attacking the illusion in front of it. So we had a couple of held actions that were declared. I believe it was Miriam and Lydia who had declared held actions. So Lydia had rolled first, so if you would like to dispel your held action.
What do you mean by dispel?
Well, like, go off your held action.
Okay, because that has 2 different meanings.
Sorry, I just was
Um,
using a fancy word unnecessarily.
So I am going to cast Wall of Ice to make a kind of a beachhead around here-ish. It's a half dome, but it's clear ice, so it's kind of like a window
Okay.
that provides protection, and we could cast spells from here. And that will end my turn.
Okay, that's smart. That is your held action. All right, Miriam, you had set a held action?
Yep, I am using my limited wish to cast animate objects, and I'm animating 12 sensors filled with oil.
Okay.
So let me drop my... I'll just use 1 token for him for the moment. Right there. Well, actually, no, I put him right there. Boom. There's 12 of these fuckers.
Alrighty. Kieran, were you holding anything?
I was not.
Okay, cool. And then Sheila set off the major image, and these 2 guys were kind of holding in preparation. All right, and so with that, with this thing being coming out of this waterfall and starting to swing at the illusion, not quite noticing quite yet that it is an illusion, what would Caldera like to do?
Caldera, with Miriam kind of just moving her hand away, is going to whoosh from the bottle. And let me measure something real quick. Yeah, to 6, so I only have 55, and then boom, yeah. Caldera is going to swoop over here, is going to take 2 attacks. Is this a surprise round?
No, so this is actually an initiative.
Okay. Alrighty, so first one's a 29 to hit.
That definitely hits.
For 14 fire damage.
Okay.
And then second one is a 25 to hit.
Yes, ma'am.
For a 16 fire damage.
Okay.
And then Caldera is going to move over to here. And I get 5, so can't hit me. No, poo-poo.
Okay, so with this, as Caldera pops out, this elemental grows from the Safridi bottle, filling the room with light, and it begins to take off, flying around, drawing the attention of this creature as it slowly begins to, like, bat at it. And even though this gigantic fire elemental is pretty large, this creature dwarfs it. It could easily grab onto it with one hand. And the beak attacks happen, and it flies by, evading this thing trying to snatch it down. And Miriam, you can tell looking at it that fire damage doesn't quite do as much as you were hoping.
That's unfortunate. However, we will make do.
Okay. Lydia, seeing this, how do you retaliate?
Lydia is gonna come over here, and as a Lydia fashion, is gonna cast command on this creature.
Okay.
Command to grapple.
All right. So, that's a wisdom saving throw, yes?
Yes, it is.
Gruff.
That's a 16?
That's a fail.
Okay, so it's going to use its first legendary resistance to succeed.
Yeah, burn those legendary resistances.
Okay, is there anything else I could do that's pretty cool? I am going to cast I'm going to cast Master of Tactics and give advantage to Feya.
Okay, so with this, you rush forward, ducking behind the made ice wall, which, by the way, is concentration, actually, isn't it?
No, the ice wall should not be concentration, although maybe I'm wrong. Let me give me a second.
Because it's from the staff, right?
Well,
Yeah.
even if it's from the staff, if you cast it from the staff, you still have to concentrate on it.
It is concentration.
Okay.
I realized that.
So, since there was a little bit of confusion there, just so you're aware, if you cast another concentration spell, such as command, it would have dropped. So, if you want to do something else, we could just wind back a bit for a moment, just because you weren't quite aware of the way the staff worked.
I guess I'll just read its thoughts for the time being.
Okay. So, you're going to use your channel divinity there?
That is correct.
Okay. So, do I need to roll a save for that? Or you get surface level thoughts?
I doesn't say. The creature must succeed on a saving throw. So yeah, it has to save a saving throw wisdom. So we could use the same rolls, or we could re-roll.
Okay. So, we'll go with the same roll because it was the same thing. So that's a 16, and so I'll say that it would not expend a legendary resistance because it doesn't actually even really know what's happening. And so you get the sense very, very distinctly. You hear multiple voices inside this thing's head, and all it says is protect, 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 kill, kill, kill. It seems that it's a very instinctual being. Being that runs on a little less on battle intelligence and more on intuition. And it the chanting is within the, you notice, especially being a little bit more perceptive, just like a little bit of a heartbeat of the essence crystal deep in its core. All right.
Here, but I'll still give advantage to Paya.
Okay, Faya has advantage. Alrighty, Miriam, what are you doing?
Okay, let's see. I should have said this, and if it's not okay, could I have downed the potion of heroism before the battle? If not, it's okay.
Yeah, I'll say that it's fine.
Alrighty, so I'm going to pop out. Well, first off, I'm going to use my bonus action, send my sensors. I'm going to split them into 2. They can just make it there. So, boom and boom. And they are going to start wailing away. So,
Okay.
it's going to roll 12, 20. So, damn! Okay, so that's a 28, a 15, a 12, a 14, an 11, a 9, another nat 20,
So-
another 15.
It's plus
1,
8.
21. Yes, plus 8.
Okay, so I'll just tell you that you need a 12 or higher to make it. So 1 in the first row, 2, your 2 nat 20s make it for sure, and then you have 3 regular hits that make it.
Alrighty, so that is the equivalent of 5, so 5d4 plus 1, 2, so that's 5 already, so that's 7 actually. 7d4 plus 20, and then they are splashing oil onto this creature
Okay.
for bludgeoning damage. And then Miriam is going to pop her face out and just yell, "Yoo-hoo! Over here, you big dumb bitch!" And I'm going to cast 4 Eldritch Blasts at it.
Alrighty.
2, 3, and 4,
Okay, so 3 of those hit, the 17 does not.
Alrighty, so that is. Just make sure. 3d10 plus 3d10. And it's now 6, so it's 6 of this is fire damage. For 38 damage, and 6 of that is fire damage, so however much from that fire damage.
Okay, so 3 of that does not quite cover, but the force damage does seem to do normal there.
And I'm going to push it back, if I can, into the wall 30 feet.
I'm going to say, first of all, it has nowhere it can go. It is a solid wall behind there. But but this thing seems to be so beefy that it would be very difficult for you to push it back.
Come find me, you big dumb bitch! And I'm gonna pop back over into here.
Okay. Cool. It seems to, like, turn and look at you as you hammer several holes into it, the sensors dousing it in oil around its head, shoulders and ice bits breaking off with the force of your Eldritch Blasts. It has noticed you, and its attention is on you as it turns away from Caldera. Sheila, what are you doing?
Sheila will cast Crown of Stars on herself. And she'll use her bonus action to cast Fizban's Platinum Shield on herself.
Okay. So building up. I'm nervous now. Cool. Anything else?
No.
And you're moving where
She'll move up a little, yeah.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So, with that, Faya, feeling encouraged by Lydia, is going to clamber along the ceiling very quickly, scuttling as she gets closer, and she's going to does your help action just help until the next turn, or does it help until it's used, Lydia?
Until next turn.
Okay, So with that, she's gonna do this instead because she wants to make use of that. So, she drops from above and launches herself at this creature, kind of surprising it in a way that reminds you a little bit of how Kieran occasionally sneak attacks. Coming down with 2 claw attacks as well as digging her, attempting to find purchase on this thing's neck. So, we have a 19, oh, well, with advantage. So that 29 does hit, and then this is going to be the second claw attack. And the 22 does hit. And then a 25 also does hit. As she just, like, bites into this thing. And it seems that her damage, though effective and good, is not considered magical, despite her being a magical being. And so, it doesn't do quite as well as you wanted it to, but she is going to town at this thing. So, hold on while I do math. 28, 48. Okay. Cool. Sounds good. And she is going to stay there, kind of on its back. Okay. Kieran.
Alrighty. My thought is split up from the rest of the group because we know it's a cone, but I would like to send 3 Eldritch Blasts his way.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Oh, I can only do 3 now. It's big sad.
Oh, yes. For those who don't know, Kieran did drop a warlock level, as well as we have a couple of stipulations happening because of the what was chosen there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Alright, I have a 20 and 2 30.
So the 20 just hits. And so all 3 of
Cool.
them do.
Oh, great rolls, but
So
you know.
28 total damage as you fire off those 3 Eldritch Blasts from your hiding spot, and you watch, kind of distracting him a little bit from your wife, who is currently in dragon form attacking the back of his neck. So 3 very large poofs of ice energy flying off of him as you blow chunks off there.
Mm-hmm. Also, I do have a really quick question, because this will affect my plan, because I'm going to pop over this way, but
Mm-hmm.
is, like, this a way to, like, get up?
Yes, it is.
Like, does it go up?
You're not
Cool,
100% positive. You did see an opening up here. And it was kind of like you noticed that the water seemed to come from nowhere. But you're not quite positive, but there does seem to be an entrance. You could deduce so, I would say.
Okay. One second. I'm just figuring out logistics real quick. Cool. Then I'm gonna use my action and my bonus action to I did my movement, and then I can get to this way right here. And I'm going to sneak around this way. I think here.
Okay.
There we are. And I'll end my turn.
Sounds good. I feel like I had a question. Oh, yes. So who did you give the potion of invulnerability to again? Remind me.
Oh, the Phoenix Trinket.
Who? Oh, the Phoenix Trinket. Got it. Sounds good. Just wanted to make sure I didn't need to worry about that for a dragon. I couldn't remember. Okay.
Oh wait, no. No, it was a dragon. It was oh my gosh.
Felgalus. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah, fabulous.
I was like, no, wait, that's not right.
Okay, sounds good. So, we'll say that he smashed that in his mouth as you guys started here, just to make life a little bit easier. Well, he can do it on his bonus action on his turn. Alright. Sounds good. It is the Cradle's turn. So, seeing what's happening, and, noticing that kind of like as he puts his foot through the illusions that you had made, he kind of steps over here, still staying within attacking distance, and this looks like this as he rips the dragon off of his neck and like chucks her into the air, and is going to step over here. And
Is he moving?
he moves away from one of your sensors, yes.
Do they get opportunity attacks since they're like little creatures?
Does it say that they animate into little creatures specifically? Will you display the spell for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, because, like, your spiritual weapon wouldn't get an attack of opportunity necessarily.
I think they turn into construct for all intents and purposes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll say they can get an attack of opportunity then.
So that is 3 of them hitting. So 3d4 plus 12 bludgeoning, so 20 bludgeoning.
Okay. Are these considered magical creatures? Or magical attacks?
If you're shooting no commands, animated command a single melee attack, it makes a slam attack with a bonus action. It doesn't say.
So since it doesn't say, much like the dragons, it wouldn't be considered magical. So it doesn't actually do quite as much damage. We'll just leave the first damage the way it was. Because I messed that up and didn't think to check that until I got to the dragons and was like, oh, that sucks. So,
Okay,
it's not considered necessarily magical attack.
cool bean.
So, with this, I think what he is going to do is, I'm just going to check something briefly. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna do that. So, it's going to turn its face and open its breath, kind of noticing all of the things in the corner, and is going to breathe on everybody who is within this cone. I will say that since you are behind, like, an ice thing that's pretty tall, Miriam, I will give you advantage on the saving throw, but I need everyone to make a Constitution saving throw. So, 6 of your little sensors, as well as yourself, Sheila, and Felgolis.
I have half cover from my shield.
Oh.
And then I have...
You know what? Since you have half cover from your shield, even though it's a Constitution saving throw, I'm going to give you advantage as well.
Alrighty, and then let me roll for my sensors. That's 6 20s.
Okay. So what's your... Let's do the constructs first. So what is your sensors plus?
Nothing.
Okay. So all of those fail. Sheila also fails. Felgolis fails. And what did you roll, Miriam, for your Constitution save?
A 15 total.
Okay, so you fail as well. So it opens its mouth and lets out this freezing breath. And you, like, try to duck behind, but it just does not cover. And you actually watch as icicles come, like, slamming through these things and bursting cold around you. And so, ooh, I rolled up. That was not where I want to go. And so you all take 65 cold damage. And your speed is reduced to 0 until the end of your next turn.
My shield gives me resistance, so I take 32 or 33.
30, we round down, so 32.
Don't forget the Fabulous. It gets resistance as well from that potion.
Yes.
And I maintain concentration.
Nice, nice.
How's Miriam looking?
I'm not looking as good as I was before, I'll tell you that much. But, I'm okay.
Alright, and how do your sensors look?
The 6 sensors that were hit were down. They're gone.
Okay, so those 6 sensors, it looks like this. He opens his mouth and the torrent of cold energy comes through, and the 6 sensors caught into it just freeze and drop and shatter all the way across the ice there. So, alrighty. Okay. And as a bonus action, it's going to snap and, oh, that's the draw tool. Not me clicking the wrong tool. Sorry, I need a sphere. I just want to see something. Oh, look at that. I can get both of you. Okay, so on this point here, I need both of you to make a, Constitution saving throw. As it snaps and you watch an icicle fall from the ceiling and shatter on this kind of like thing here, and a mist just spreads around and encompasses you.
You said
Constitution.
Right? Does a dirty 20 save?
Yes, it does in this case. So,
Great.
Lydia, Constitution save from you as well?
Ray did not affect me. I was not in range. I was not in the.
No,
home.
this is a different effect. This is a bonus action. Different effect.
Alright. Con save. That's a natural one.
Okay.
Ugh.
So, as I said, the icicle falls from the ceiling and a mist spreads out from it. And as you are all in the mist, you feel your body begin to seize up in the coldness that comes over it. So...
Oh,
Well, I am inside the dome, so I would be covered by a falling icicle, but not a mist. So.
yeah, it's a mist, not a falling icicle. And so,
Gotcha.
what's up, Sly?
I was gonna ask Candle, you have the essence pearls. You could maybe use a reaction and re-roll.
Sure. Okay, I could do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
16?
A
I'm not sure
16,
if that's gonna.
16 also fails. So mark off one of the uses of your essence pearl as you see the mist coming and you frantically smash it, trying to just like gain a little bit of an edge there. So you take 26 cold damage and you are not able to use your reaction until the end of your next turn. Hold on, let me just double check. Until the start of your next turn. So, which you had already used, so that doesn't really do much for you. And Kieran, you take half, so you take 13 cold damage.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And that is the end of its turn. Kieran. Oh, wait, not Kieran. Just kidding. I don't know why I looked at the picture of Felgulus and went, yeah, Kieran, definitely. Okay.
Brain be like that.
Brain do be like that. So, Felgulus is going to jump up, having shake off all of the ice, kind of winding down a little bit, and leap up into the air and fly forward. And he's going to get right here, or actually, he's going to come around here, kind of spreading things out, and open his mouth and let out a exhale of lightning breath. So this creature is going to make a dexterity saving throw. And that is a fail. It is going to use its actual, for realsies, first legendary resistance to succeed from this. And then... So, please be patient as I'm rolling things, because I'm actually toggling so that you guys can see how your allies do. So, as the lightning begins to crackle from this, from Felgulus's mouth, he opens his mouth and lets this out, as it goes, and you watch it, like, strike the inside of the, essence crystal in the core and shoot up and all through the sides of this ice creature as it begins to kind of channel the lightning. And it does manage to kind of dodge out of the way of most of it, and then it doesn't seem to do quite as much damage as you wanted it to do, and you see the pure panic on Felgulus's face is like, oh shit, this thing's resistance to my main attack. But he boy did he do his best, and that's what he can do. Okay, so Caldera, what are you doing?
Alright, he is going to fly into its space, and as he does, I hit it with 5 things of oil, I believe. So, do those ignite? And how is that?
So, are you going to attack it all, or are you just going to do a flyby to try to ignite it?
So this is one of the things. So fire form. So the first time it enters a creature's space on a turn, that creature takes 1d10 fire damage. And with a touch, the Phoenix can also ignite flammable objects that aren't being worn or carried, and I am going to attack.
Okay, so I would say that let's handle the oil first. So I would say that the oil does ignite. Do you have like the oil pulled up to see how much fire damage that would normally do?
No, let me pull it up real quick. Because I just got 5 splashes. Oil flask. If the target takes any fire damage before the oil dries, after 1 minute, the target takes an additional 5 fire damage from burning oil.
So
5 fire.
Cool. So it took 5, or how many oil splashes hit?
5.
Okay. Perfect. So since it's 1 round since, I will say that the oil has not frozen over yet, and so yes, it does ignite. So go ahead and roll the damage for those 5 oils.
It's just a flat 5.
Okay.
On each.
So it's 25 fire damage then, which rounds down. Cool. As you watch just little pss, 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 light up as the oil flasks from your stuff light up there. Okay.
Alrighty, and then it's going to take some attacks. So 27 to hit.
27 does indeed hit.
For 10 fire damage. And then 25 to hit. For 12 fire damage.
Okay.
And then, let's see. Yep, it's going to... Ooh, it can fly over here. Yeah, that's what it's going to do. So, right behind it.
Okay, and with flyby, this creature does not get attacks of opportunity. As you unleash into it with the fiery form. And as I said, the natural cold begins to resist, and you actually watch as steam begins to fill the air as this thing begins to kind of melt a little bit. But not as fast as you wanted it to.
Okay, little.
Yep, little by little. Alrighty, Lydia with Miriam on deck.
Alright, Lydia will cast Sacred Flame on this thing. It's a DC 19 dex save.
Okay. That is a 15.
Alright, so takes 12 radiant damage. And I will give Feya advantage again.
Okay, sounds good. So with the 12 radiant damage, that seems to function as normal as you kind of point through your wall that you had given yourself protection, your little window to cast spells, and this thing doesn't quite seem to dodge out of the way. It is not very fast. It is a very large creature that moves with the slowness that this size of a creature could. And your radiant damage seems to take hold. And Feya, kind of seeing that, kind of knows to duck out of the way there and to get ready to go. Okay, Miriam.
Alrighty, rinse and repeat, boys. Bonus action, my 6 sensors are going to take attacks. Oh, yep. So you said anything above a 13 makes it?
Above a 12.
Above a 12, okay. So those are 2 hits and 2 oil splashes. So, there we go, 14 bludgeoning damage, and that's not magical, so however much that does. And then Miriam is going to 4 Eldritch Blasts.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. And I do have Bless on me, so I'm going to roll 2d4, so a d4 for both of those to see if I can...
So, is it the Bless from the Channel Point Redemption? Because that's just for the first thing that you do. So it's not like the Bless spell, it's like just to 1 attack or saving throw.
No, it's the Bless spell.
Oh, from the Heroism Potion! You're right.
So that is now a dirty 20 and a 19.
Okay, so the dirty 20 does indeed hit. So you have 3 hits there.
And then 6 of this is fire damage, so... Yep. So 40 damage, 6 of which is fire, and I'm just continuing to pummel into it.
Okay.
I will dodge back.
Alrighty, so with that, these things dancing around this creature's gigantic head, your Eldritch Blasts kind of going into its shoulder, going into its thighs, trying to cripple it as much as possible, and it's still moving. Alright, and with that, Sheila, what are you doing?
First I'll move closer. There. And I'll use my bonus action to shoot a star at. 15 misses.
Yes, it does.
And I'll use my action to drink my potion of Storm Giant Strength.
Okay. Sounds good. So with that, your star going wide, flying past its head as this thing is dodging all of the sensors, not quite able to hit it. And you feel the energy of the Storm Giant Strength Potion come over you, and you don't grow per se, but you almost do. Just a couple of inches. Alrighty. Anything else? Any more movement?
No.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, that was a whoopsies.
You're totally fine. I mean, you're welcome to roll me random strength checks. I can make shit up. Sly's like, no, please no, I rolled a 10.
Well, thank you. Well, I pass on that.
So Faya kind of feeling like she's gonna try to use her option as quickly as possible, is gonna open up her mouth and unleash, and you watch this billowing of, like, shadowy poison come forth, as she attempts to fill the air around this creature's head, and you watch as it begins to freeze on his skin. Well, not skin, ice. The ice that makes up his skin. Alright, and he is going to roll a Constitution saving throw. Okay, he does make it, so he... Oh, that sucks. This was a save or suck. So as she attempts to paralyze him with her breath, kind of like, Kieran, you recognize and kind of begin to smell what reminds you of some of the poisonous plants that she would keep around her space in her realm. But this creature, very large and very intense in constitution, manages to shrug off the effect. Okay. With that, she's going to be smart and kind of split attention and circle, kind of climb and circle back around behind him. Okay, Kieran, what are you doing?
Alrighty, I am going to... Let me just double check. My action and bonus action, I'm gonna sprint up this way.
Okay, cool.
To there. As I'm running, am I able to see him?
Yes, you
Up
are.
on top?
And he's definitely tall. So this is about, you are running up a very steep incline, and managed to do so just fine. It's about 150 feet to the bottom of this pool, and his head is there. His shoulders are there, and you realize just how tall this creature is as you duck under Caldera's, glowing form.
Alright, second question. How close is he to me?
From where you are, you would definitely not be able to get a melee attack. I would say his shoulder is probably within about 20 feet of you.
Cool. With my action, I think I'm gonna follow... I couldn't see Sheila, but I'm gonna follow suit and drink my potion of giant strength.
Just so you're aware, Sheila chose to use an action instead of a bonus action because of her abilities. You can drink it with your bonus action.
I had to use my bonus action to run my 16.
Oh, got it. You're right. Okay, so you choose to use your action to drink your potion as well.
Yep.
Feeling the strength course through your body.
Mhm.
Oh.
Do I also grow a little taller?
It's a little less because this is a less intensive potion. Yeah, it's like maybe half an inch.
Hey, I'll take it.
Alrighty.
And I also regained 5 hit points. This is great.
Yes, you do. It does not get its freezing breath back. And so it is going to, let's do... Okay. So, Felgolis did the most to it last time, so he's going to make a slam action against there. So, with a 24 and a 21, Felgolis is hit by both of these attacks. Oh, this is... Hold on. This is not working for me. Give me 1 second to pull up a character sheet in a different way. Pause for the cause while the DM does something. Thank you for the hold music. Much appreciated. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so much nicer already, I can tell. I had it like the character sheet pulled up in a book, and so it was rolling constantly instead of... Yeah, it was rough. Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was very, very rough. So, you watch as Felgolis takes quite a bit of damage, as this creature slams down on top of it, and cold kind of rushing over his skin as well. So, Felgolis takes a total of 30, 61, 72 points of damage and is starting to look very rough from just those 2 attacks.
Maybe we should have given this man the potion of invulnerability. Oh, no!
Oh, you did! You did! So he only takes half
Yeah.
of that. Just kidding. I honestly totally forgot.
This man's a tank. He's our tank today.
He's your tank today. Luckily, Faya is a little... She moves quickly. She hides in the shadows. She's a rogue dragon. Okay. And so, with that, he is going to use his bonus action to cause the chilling mist to fall once again from the ceiling. Let's see, can I encompass all of you? Indeed I can. So the 3 of you in my little circle over here, if you would make me Constitution saving throws, please, and thank you.
60.
Oh no, Sheila.
It's okay, I'm resistant.
That's true.
Okay.
Lydia, I'll again remind you. Oh no, you
It's
don't have to
fine,
react.
don't worry about it.
No, she
Actually, I do.
she does have reactions because it only came back.
Damn.
Wait.
I'm just making my Constitution save. My concentration
Oh, okay. So, yeah, you're totally fine with that concentration check. So you take 30 cold damage, Sheila, and you cannot use your reaction until the beginning of your next
check. Is
turn.
it 30 reduced or 30?
30
already?
total, so 15 reduced, so you definitely make your con save. Lydia, you take 30 total, and you cannot use your reaction until the end of your next turn. And Miriam, 16 also does not make it, so you take 30 and cannot use your reaction.
Cool beans.
Okay. I am resistant to cold, so that's not a problem.
Okay, so you take 15 as well. Okay. With that...
Man.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Is its turn ending?
Its turn is ending.
A legendary action?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I'm going to use Move, which allows me to move and make an attack from Caldera, so 1 Fiery Talon attack for a 20 to hit
Which does?
for 12 fire damage. And I believe I got 2 things of oil on it, so
Yes, you
10
did.
oil.
So additional 10 oil. So that's reduced to 11 total.
Alrighty.
Cool. Okay. So Felgulus does not get his lightning breath back, but realizing that the lightning probably isn't the best way to go about this, is going to attack. Okay. So he launches himself at this gigantic creature, trying to, like, bite onto the ice and just getting a mouthful of kind of like snow steam, and it also is a little warm and oily and it tastes gross, and it throws him off, and so he spits it out, but then begins to attempt to claw, managing to like accidentally kind of land a huge claw in this creature's shoulder, but not dealing too much damage.
Another legendary act.
Okay, yes, you can use another legendary action at the end of his turn.
32 to hit. I believe that's a 19. Do I get fun?
You
stuff?
do! You are within Felgulus's luck range. So, let's see what happens. Go ahead and roll me a D100.
Alrighty, and that's the damage. 38.
Okay, so you do get a critical hit, so you roll your damage twice. And with a 38, you are able to maneuver towards your opponent while attacking to attempt to harass them. So you can choose, if you want, to attempt to grapple your opponent. I will say that since this creature is large, you could get what I'd call a half grapple in on its head. So he wouldn't be able to move his head to change his breath from where he has it, if you choose to stay there.
Absolutely, I'm going to try and do that.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a strength check.
7!
Oh, no. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Yeah.
He could roll poorly.
I could roll a nat 1. That would be the only thing. But I rolled a 26. So you are unable to grapple its head.
It was worth a try.
It was absolutely worth a try. And it takes a little bit of fire damage there. And that's the end of Felgulus's turn, and it is now Caldera's turn.
Cute. Good old claw beat. So that is a 27 to hit for 16 fire damage. And then a 30 to hit. Is that... No, that's... Okay. For 15, and it's going to... Yeah, we'll stay here for right now. Boom. And it's going to get onto this side of this creature.
Okay. Sounds good. Lydia. Candle?
I'm sorry, I was muted. She's gonna do another Sacred Flame. Well, you mentioned that it was grappled and his head was.
It is not anymore.
Correct.
It was an attempt. They did not roll a high enough strength check.
Gotcha. In that case, can you please roll a dexterity saving throw?
Okay. That's an 18.
Alright, my dex save is 19, so I
Yeah.
guess that saves. So yeah, I can't do anything. I will give Faye another advantage, and I am then going to go here abandoning my little thingamajig.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage for your Sacred Flame.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it failed. Okay.
It rolled an 18. You said your thing was 19.
Oh, I heard 19. I apologize. So yeah, that's 11. That's 11 radiant damage.
Alrighty. And you abandon your little post there. Are you maintaining concentration on it still?
For the time being, yes.
Okay. Oh, I should have had you roll concentration checks for the missed earlier. I'm sure it's not a huge deal. It's fine. Okay. Miriam, what are you doing?
Alrighty, I'm going to bonus action, have my 6 sensors attack. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4 hit.
Hey,
Yahoo!
nice.
And one of those is a natty 20.
Mm-hmm.
That is 5d4 plus... Oh my god, I can do math. Okay, there we go, and they're splashing oil for 28 bludgeoning.
Okay. It's halved there.
Yep.
And oil
And then-
is splashed upon it.
Miriam is going to get over to here for a moment and is going to do 4 Eldritch Blasts. Or, no, Eldritch Blasts. So let's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, all 4 of those do indeed hit.
So roll 4d10 plus, let's see, what's my plus on those? Plus 5, yes, that's 20, plus 6, 26. 27, actually. Wait, yes? No? Maybe so? Sorry. My brain's breaking, I'm having to do math.
You're good.
This is difficult. Alrighty, 26. Alright, 6 of this is fire damage, and I will keep attempting to push it back with my 4 hits.
Okay, and as you're like trying to push it back, this time kind of going more towards the knees and the feet, trying to like shove this thing's footing back, it is too large.
That is fair. And I'm going to duck into this little alcove right here.
And it's starting to look like his ice pieces are breaking off and sloughing off of his body. And you see sparks come off of him in a weird way. He's starting to not look so good.
Yay.
Okay, Sheila.
I'll use a bonus action to shoot a star at him.
Okay.
20.
Just hits.
It's 30 radiant damage.
Whew, nice.
Yeah.
I suppose I'll just move a little away from Miriam. That'll be my turn.
No action?
No.
Alrighty. Okay, and with that, Faya does... I want you all to know that I'm rolling with a super pretty, like, gray smoky dice for her, to see if she gets her stuff back. I thought that was kind of cool. But she does not get her breath attack back, and so is going to just go at it. So, that is the good old bite, claw. And all of those hit. So 28, 39, halved because her attacks are not magical. Come on, dude. Thank you.
Oh, are they really not?
No,
Damn.
it's so dumb. I think that dragon attacks should be magical personally, but for the sake of overcoming resistances, whenever it says, like, their attacks are magical for the sake of overcoming resistances, it will say such a thing if it, in certain, monster stat blocks. However, you're not often using a monster that's fighting, people who have those resistances. So most people don't think about it. So with that, she's going to continue to circle kind of this way. She's trying to spread it out because she knows what the breath can use, and is staying kind of like stuck in the back of its back. Okay, Kieran.
Alrighty. I'm sad because I was hoping he'd be a bit range, but that's just life. Blast? Or do I do Vicious Mockery?
What are you doing?
I am going to do Eldritch Blast. Alrighty.
Okay, only one of those hit.
Dang. But 12 force damage.
Okay, so as this thing is kind of like dodging your wife, you manage to catch it in like a really good part of its armor that's made of like this natural ice being, and it doesn't seem to do much damage. But then one of them kind of like, you watch as your wife tears open this part in his neck, and you shoot right for that part.
Cool. And then with my bonus action, I have a question, DM.
I have an answer.
Okay. Because I would like to give a bardic inspiration to Fegalis. Okay, there we go. If I scooch over this way, I can reach him.
You answered your own question. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, it's good like that. I'm gonna yell over to Fegalis, "You're doing great! I believe in you!" I'll give him...
Perfect.
I'll give him a d6.
Sounds good. Okay. And so with that...
Legendary action.
Okay, go ahead and use your legendary action.
I'm going to use my peck. 16 to hit. That does not hit.
No, it does not.
Alrighty, that's it.
Alrighty. So let's see. Hey! There we go. It gets its breath attack back.
Oh.
I'm debating what I want to do here. Do I want to do that? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just like hardcore debating here. Yeah, it's gonna do it. He is going to withdraw from all of these people. So go ahead and he does stay within attack distance of Caldera. So your sensors, as well as Felgolis and Fea, can attempt to make an attack. Felgolis is going to add his d6, and no matter what he rolls, he will make it with that 19. So
And 5 oil on it for 29 bludgeoning.
Damn.
okay, sounds good. So that's...
Oh, no. Not my wife!
I know. She hit it!
I'm talking about what I think is coming next.
Yep, it's like you know. Alright, so...
This isn't a spell, is it?
It's not a spell.
Okay.
So it's going to open its mouth and breathe out a cone here that is going to get the 2 dragons and all of the sensors. So I need Constitution saving throws. Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure even with the con saving throws, it's not going to do much. So let's see what these dragons do here. This first one's going to be Felgolis. That's a 30. Good job, Felgolis. And then for Fea. Oh no! No!
Fail!
Okay, and then with that, ooh, roll this whisper.
What do I gotta do, ma'am?
So both Felgolis takes half because he is invulnerable, which is good because that's 53 cold damage normally. And so he's gonna take 26. There we go. I can math. But Fea takes the. Oh wait, he would take half of that too.
Quartered?
Yeah, it would be quartered. Yeah. But Fea takes the full bit. She has not been hit yet. However, Sly, since she was hit, would you roll me a Constitution saving throw? And you have to beat a 26.
Wait, what ability do I...
It's your scroll all the way down to your bottom of your character skills, where it says...
I know, but things... It says select ability.
Oh, why does it say that? It should just be a flat d20 plus 13.
I don't know why.
I don't know, just pick one. We'll see what it rolls, and then if we need to subtract... Oh!
Oh!
Why?
Oh, it should be, because I just picked one.
Okay.
So it should be minus 11.
Okay, that's so much math for me. 22. So
Yeah.
she needed to make a 26, which is not enough. And so with that, until her next turn, when she can kind of like gain purchase there, or for 1 round. So until this creature's next turn, until she can kind of gain purchase there, you do not have access to any of your warlock abilities.
Okay.
So, all right, price to pay.
Legendary action.
Oh wait, I need a bonus action first, so I'm going to do that quickly. And it is going to drop another Mister right here, so it's going to catch I need to go over a little bit more. There we go. So it's going to catch Kieran as well as Lydia and Caldera all need to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Caldera, bro.
Alright. And then I'm gonna roll another Faya con check, but I'm just checking something. Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so with that, Caldera fails, but both Kieran and Lydia succeed. And you guys take... so Caldera takes 29 and cannot use a reaction, and thus cannot use legendary actions, because those are considered a form of reaction, until the beginning of its next turn, which is in 2 rounds. So 29 cold damage to Caldera, and then half of that, so 14 to both Kieran and Lydia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And with that, it is now Felgolis' turn. Okay, Felgolis, get your breath weapon back. Nope, that's a 2. Felgolis is starting to not to look so good, but he is gonna attempt to fight. He is going to fly over to here to try to protect his friends. And is going to use his multi-attack. So, we have a bite, a claw, and a claw. Oh, that's a crit! He gets his own crit effect! How cute. Oh, and the 31 is a crit, too. Wow, Felgolis, look at you go. Does somebody want to roll 2 D100s for me?
Yes. Oh, why did I say yes?
Great.
We're doing great!
Okay, so let's resolve the first one first. He is going to take the, my brain just froze. That was hilarious. 35 halved is 15 plus 2. So 17 points of piercing damage from the bite attack. And you watch as... Ooh! He gains advantage on the target until the end of his next turn, so we can check some of those crits. That's pretty cool. As he feels the ice crack under his teeth, he begins to find better purchase and claw into it. So we're going to count those 2 as his next claw attack, which he also gains a crit on. So, Sly, since you were rolling, roll me 2 more d6 to add to damage there.
Alright, not terrible.
Okay, so with the 36... he can attempt to grapple if he wants. And so I think he's going to try to grapple his head again to keep his head where it is. So that's 19 plus 8 is 27 divided by 2 is 13. And so this is going to be a contested strength check here. So Felgolis rolls a 10. Aw, Felgolis. Aw, honey. And here we're going to just roll this publicly so I don't have to click. Okay, so he is not grappled. But Felgolis still does get advantage on his next claw attack. With that, so 28 does hit for 9 slashing. Okay. And this thing looks like he's starting to barely hang on. And you see ice just sloughing off. And Felgolis has its neck in almost a death grip. Alrighty. Okay, Caldera.
Alrighty, it's going to move into his space. I believe that was 7 oils that it had on it before I hit it next, so that is 35 fire, just immediately. And let's see how many fire from being in its space, 3 from being in its space, and then I am going to hit it with 2 attacks. So a 28 for the first one, for 13 fire, and then 30 for the other one for... Oh, sorry, that was a 2 hit. Or was that the damage? That was for 22 fire, goddamn.
Dang.
Okay.
And then Caldera is going to move right here.
Okay, and so with that, how does Caldera rip this thing's head off?
Yeah.
You just see as Caldera's talons just sink into its head, and it's just that horrible screeching sound whenever, like, you put metal on dried ice as they just keep digging in and melting into the ice, and it just thrashes its talons and throws it against the wall.
Alrighty. And so with that, as this thing hits the wall, right here, both you, Lydia, and you, Kieran, begin to feel the wall begin to quake. And the ice begins to fall from this ground. And you watch as this thing crumbles and crumples. And the whole space feels like it's going to come down. And actually with that, you all watch as from the center, this essence crystal bursts in a piece of glorious light, kind of maintaining the core, but a part of it reacts and a heartbeat goes throughout the room. And you hear just kind of like a horrible cracking noise as the glacier begins to come down. And with that, I need everyone to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not making that even if I do put my bless on that. The dex for Caldera. Caldera, buddy.
You don't have any essence crystals, do you?
Oh, no.
Damn.
Okay. So, everyone who is 18 or above saves. So poor Felgolis does not. And so where'd it go? I lost it. So
my wife.
as the icicles begin to come down and just a burst of cold energy fills the space, those who are the 18 or lower are going to take 27 points of cold damage, and those who succeeded take half of that, so 13. So go ahead and resolve that as you will. Lydia, if you're maintaining concentration, go ahead and roll me a con check for that as well.
No, I'm not maintaining concentration.
Okay, so you drop concentration on that as you get hit. All right. And with that, you begin to see a form rise from the ice that had crackled around this thing. And as it rises, it begins to pick up the glacier around you. And you feel yourself begin to fall and shift and slide as the whole space around you reforms. The sky appears as you watch everything get ripped open. And you are thrown from this space. And all of you begin to slide in snow and ice and cold around you. And we are going to actually change maps.
Ooh.
And you see this thing from down below begin to rise. A pointed crown on its head. And ice spikes formed, and it seems to be some sort of avatar. Maybe the thing that was birthed from the cradle. And I think
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, thank you for ruining my dramatic description. No, it's fine. And I think,
Sorry.
I think with that, as you guys are being thrown and sliding down the side of this erupting glacier, we are going to take a quick break. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes, so probably around the 15-minute mark there. So go ahead, stand up, stretch your legs, and we'll see you guys for the rest of this boss battle. Alrighty, welcome back. So, what just happened was, in their fight, Caldera land a finishing hit, ripping this thing's, rending its head from its body. And you watched as a burst of energy overtook the room and filling with mist as the whole thing began to come down, and it reached down and upheavaled the glacier. Cracking it open to the sky and sending all of you into this avalanche as you go tumbling down, layers upon layers of snow and ice. And so you did just roll to see if you were able to dodge as the ceiling came down, but now I would like all of you to roll a dexterity saving throw to see if you can kind of catch yourself and not fall prone and maybe a tiny bit buried under the snow here. So go ahead and roll for me.
I'm flying speed with hover. How's that?
I will give you advantage, and your DC will be a little bit lower.
Would feather falling affect this at all?
I would say feather falling would help, yes.
Alright, then I can hit myself and the 2 dragons.
Okay, so with that, I'll say that you guys can kind of gently float down and land.
Yeah.
So, Lydia, you can't actually guidance yourself since this is not necessarily... Guidance is an action.
Well, how long do we fall for?
Like, it's a reaction time. There's not, like, a whole action in combat.
Oh, okay.
So, Featherfall only works because it's a reaction spell.
Gotcha.
Okay, so Lydia got 13, Miriam got 22 already, and Sheila got 5. So the others do not need to make it. Well, Caldera can fly, so go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw with advantage for Caldera. Okay, so with a 23, Caldera's fine. And with a 13, Lydia, you fall prone. Yep, as well as Sheila with a 5. You both are just prone. Alrighty. And with that, we are going to resume initiative as you are thrown onto the top of this glacier. And this thing bearing down at you. You do still see behind like this odd-looking breastplate that has formed out of ice, just a dull glow and kind of a heartbeat. Okay, and with that, Lydia, what are you doing?
I would like to cast command on this thing.
Okay.
So with saving throw.
Alrighty. That's a 28.
Okay, then I fail. I'll use my bonus action to gulp a potion of greater healing.
Okay, go ahead and roll for that.
I shall do so. And then I will move 1, 2, 3 over here. And my turn.
Okay, and
Actually,
you are just out of its range, so it does not take an attack at you. As you attempt to command it, you just see it turn and look at you, and this flash of energy comes over it, and it scares you just a moment. This thing has a solid will. Taking your healing potion, healing a little bit, and ducking away as far as you can. Miriam, what are you doing?
Well... Yeah, you know what I'm doing. 8 Eldritch Blasts. Do you want me to roll them individually or all at once?
Wait, what do you mean?
I can just roll 8 d20s, or I can go along with our
Yeah, you can roll 8 d20s if you want. I'm comfy with
I
that.
have plus 11.
Plus 11? Okay. So, with that, this always allows you guys to figure out the AC pretty quickly, and I'm kind of okay with that. So, you needed to roll an 8 or higher. So, we have 1, 2, 3, and a natural 20 that hit. Wow, you rolled really low for quite a few of those.
Yeah. So, that is 40-10 plus 15 plus a 6, so plus 21. 6 of that is fire, so 43 damage.
Alrighty. So as from the far distance, this thing throwing you far and you alighting kind of on top of it with your fly speed, You unleash your torrent of eldritch blasts. If the other thing was huge and gargantuan and unable to be shoved back, this thing is even more rooted. In fact, it seems to be part of the glacier itself. It will not be shoved. But you do manage to break off chunks of its armor, and you see ice spraying behind it. Okay. It is this creature's turn. Alrighty, and so we're gonna use its bonus action first. And it is going to move. And this does not actually provoke opportunity attacks. Oh, actually, just kidding. It's not going to do that. It's going to stay right where it is. And it's going to... Sorry, I'm just, like, reading to make sure I can understand things. Okay. Let's do this. It's going to take an attack at Felgulus. And that hits for 31 force damage and 22 cold damage as it swings its axe into this thing made of ice. What?
With resistance?
So with resistance, it's going to drop quite a bit. I was just doing the math. So 53, so 26 points of damage as it swings into this, as it swings its axe into this thing. And then with that, it's going to take the back of its axe and bash down on top of this dragon's head. With a 31 to hit for 32 force damage. So half to 16. And then it rolled a natural 1. And so actually something happens because it is a critical fumble on here. So does somebody in chat want to roll me a D100? Because I think that's funny. Hey, there we go. That's a 76. So with the 76, this creature, as it brings its slam down, it moves past Felgulus a little bit and kind of exposes an area, and you watch as Felgulus uses his reaction to attempt to cleave into this creature. So Felgulus gets an essentially attack of opportunity. And is going to bite with a 24, and as he bites down, it once again does not seem to do as much damage as you wanted it to. As his attacks are non-magical. Okay.
So dumb!
Legendary action?
Yes, ma'am.
Righty, I'm going to move right here, and this is the first time I am moving into its space on this turn, so it takes, 2 fire damage. Yippee. And let's see, that's Fiery Talons attack. Alright. So a 22 to hit.
That does hit.
For 11 fire damage. Rolled not great.
Okay, and once again, this thing is so cold that the fire seems to die the moment it hits it, and it doesn't do as much damage as you wanted it to.
Alrighty.
Okay, Sheila.
I will use my bonus action to shoot a star at it.
Okay.
24.
That does hit.
For 34 radiant.
Alright, so as the star comes flying from you and kind of bashes into a piece of its chest plate as it breaks off.
And then I'll use my action to point my staff at it and shoot a lightning bolt at it.
Alright. Do I roll a saving throw?
Yeah, dex save.
Okay. That's a 7. I will use the first of my legendary resistance to resist this.
Alright, so 17 damage.
Thank you for doing
Unless
math.
it's resistant or something.
It is actually, yes, resistant to lightning. So 68.
No.
So as the lightning bolt goes into this creature, you see the lightning crackle through the ice and kind of conduct a little bit up that way as it magically shrugs off a lot of the effect. Any movement?
Nah, I'm okay here.
Alrighty. Oh, go ahead.
I might have missed it, but did fire do normal damage then?
No, it did not. Fire and lightning,
Damn.
it seems to be resistant to, as well as you watch Felgolus attack in his retaliation, and he did half damage. I'm sorry, I saw the clip of that the other day where I straight up uwu-fied retaliate in the middle of a session, and someone clipped it. I think Nick clipped it. And so now it lives rent-free in my brain.
So stupid.
No. Okay. It is,
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry for making you a break. So Faya is going to move forward. Let's see if she hey! She does get it. Ooh, what is she? Yeah, she's gonna go for damage in this, as opposed to the paralyzing breath. So she is... Oh, just kidding. Her breath is a cold breath. She really isn't gonna do much. Yeah. You see like a split second of debate in her brain as she goes, yeah, this thing is gonna resist my breath weapon attack. Yeah, this thing is probably gonna magically resist my paralyzing breath. We're just gonna attack it. So she's going to launch herself at it. Ooh, that nat 1. She is not within Felgolus's luck aura, so that doesn't do much to it. But those two, the bite does hit as she bites down onto this thing's kind of shoulder, and she begins to claw, but her claws get stuck on some of the pieces, but one of them does manage to kind of find purchase. And it takes 15 damage. And that's the end of her turn. Kieran, what are you doing?
Alrighty. I am going to, cause I was smart and never mind, was not smart. Hold that thought.
Okay.
I am going to rain, please. I'm gonna hold off on this. Okay. I would like to cast Vicious Mockery on it.
Okay. So that's a wisdom saving throw?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that is a 20.
Damn. That'll just save.
Yep, and by the way, chat, that was with the added d4, so kudos. You, made me resist the effect.
Alright. Damn. I was hoping that could, make
Yeah.
it have disadvantage.
That would have helped, yep. Okay, that's your
Alright.
action, bonus action.
I can't transform right now. Yes. Seeing my wife not doing great, I'm gonna call some love and support and send her over a bardic inspiration.
Okay. How are you encouraging her?
My love, you're doing great!
Beautiful.
Keep going! Oh, and I can heal a little bit.
Yes, you can. So, Sheila, remember you do heal 5 hit points at the beginning of your turn, as well as Kieran. Unless you take fire damage. Okay, cool. I figured you were keeping track of that. Alright.
I do have a quick question.
Yes.
Because I don't know if you play this. Because I have DM Inspiration. Am I able to use that to give disadvantage?
I do not play that way. It is only
Okay,
advantage for yourself. However, the Essence Pearls can give disadvantage.
Okay, cool. Figured I'd ask. Thank you!
Okay. Are you staying there?
Yes. I don't know if I'm technically within a thing's range, but I'm gonna keep my little booty here.
You don't know. Alrighty. Legendary action, go for it.
Did that actually roll? No, it didn't. 17 to hit?
17 does indeed... Nope, does not hit.
Okay. So close yet so far. Alrighty. That's all.
Okay, so as Caldera is attempting to find purchase, a very fast-moving phoenix. Okay, Felgulus, not looking so good, is going to breathe in and does not get his breath attack back, and is going to do the good old faithful. The bite claw as he attempts to wear down this creature. Although he feels pretty good about himself. He's tanking for you all. Okay, so that's 27 plus 15, 42, divided in 2. It's 21 as he begins to... He and Faye are kind of like tag teaming on this thing's shoulder. And as you look at them, the Sicon lifts its hand up, and it is barely as big, or it's like as big as these dragons. These dragons are like birds to this creature. Okay. Felgulus is going to kind of move a little bit closer to try to help Faye out with his aura. Okay, what is Caldera doing?
Hey, Caldera. Yeah, I'm going to take advantage of this while I can. I'm going to move. Then I am going to take... 16 does not hit. That is a 9.
Yep, that's a natty.
So that is 48 plus 8, and then I'll roll that D100. Ah! Can't spell. Help. Alrighty, 20 fire damage, and then D100 time.
Yep.
83.
Okay, so with an 83, your strike surprises your opponent, and they are considered surprised until the end of their next turn, which means all attacks have advantage. And so what happens is, as Felgulus is kind of like flying and attacking and getting in this thing's face, Caldera comes up from below and like rushes into its chest piece and knocks the air out of it. So all attacks do have advantage until the end of its next turn.
Cool beans, and I will go over to here and fly by, so fuck you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Alrighty. Okay, Lydia, what are you doing? Miriam on deck.
So, do we know how many legendary resistances have been burned so far?
One.
2. Alright, I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on it, so that's a dex save.
Okay. That is a 8.
Alright, so
I'm going to actually quickly burn DM inspiration from the chat and try again. It does have a pretty low dex. Because I do have the... it's a nat 1. So I just rolled an 8.
Great. Does that mean I get I double my damage?
No, that's not how that works.
That would be fun.
43 radiant damage, and I'm going to give Faye advantage again.
Okay, she will take that advantage because her breath attacks don't do too much. Okay. Are you staying where you are?
Yep.
Alright, Miriam.
Okay, since these have advantage, I'm gonna roll them separately. So 25. 28.
I'll keep count for you as you roll.
Natty 20.
Hey.
Another one. That's 4. 15. 5. Another natty 20.
Nice.
7 for 4. And then that is 19.
Okay, so that misses. So you have 4 regular hits and 2 nat 20s.
So that is 6, 10 in total. Okay. So, wait, no, 8d10. Right. Plus, oh my gosh, 6 times 6. 30 plus 6, and 6 of this is fire, so 80 damage, 6 of which is fire.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yes,
Pretty
Miriam.
cool. So as your 8 Eldritch Blasts, just one after another, fly and hit this creature, I imagine it's kind of like in some sort of like shape as you're going all along its breastplate, trying to break off a lot of those pieces to make it a little bit easier for your up close and personal people to hit, as you deal quite a bit of damage. And it turns and looks at you. Are you staying there?
Is this raised up here?
Not really. You're actually, so it's actually going to go downward, as you get away from this creature. It seems to be rooted within the glacier. It's a little bit raised up from, like, where Sheila is. But...
Like, is this right here? Like, this ridge?
I would say that you're on the same level as the creature. But this does, like, go down. And then this goes down, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just gonna,
Run. There's a correct answer here. Run.
Yeah. Fuck this. I've got the range. Fuck this. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Seeing this, it is going to attempt to hit you because you just did a lot of damage to it. And it reaches down into the glacier and pulls out. Its hand is huge and it encompasses a mini glacier, like a very large piece of ice that it begins to throw. So that is a... Oh, hold on, I forgot. This is at disadvantage because it is outside of its range, but it is angry. It is still a 24 to hit you for the first one.
Yeah, that hits me.
Okay. And then a 20 to hit you for the second one.
Yeah, that hits me.
Okay. Are you resistant to cold damage or anything?
Nuh-uh.
Okay, I'm gonna whip out my calculator for this. So that's 73 bludgeoning damage. And 24 cold damage.
Miriam, are you insta-dead?
I dropped to 1 HP because of Death Ward.
Oh! I forgot!
Okay, so you watch as this thing pulls 2 glaciers and retaliates, throwing them at Miriam, and she gets buried underneath both of them. And you just see her arm fall limp for a moment, and then kind of like shove the glaciers off of her, and she looks like she is on death's door, but she is still kicking. You are, however, prone.
That's okay.
And yeah, let's do this. This is funny. So, Sly, I just want you to know, I made the conditions with Faya, and then I reread this character sheet and went, oh no. So this creature is going to use its bonus action to move without provoking opportunity attacks and begin to move down the mountain. And it can move to here. And anything within 60 feet, as the ground begins to rumble, has to make a Constitution saving throw or lose concentration on any spell. So I think Sheila's concentrating, and I believe that Faye is concentrating. Sheila, you just make it. Yeah, she's concentrating.
30.
Oh, really?
Oh, right.
Yeah, I get a +4 when I'm concentrating.
Oh, dope. Yeah, you definitely make it. But she's concentrating on you.
Ah, fuck. Can I burn my DM inspiration?
You know what? I will say that you can. It is your wife.
My wife.
However, a 16 does not make it, and so she immediately...
But it wasn't a natty 1.
True. And rolling a natty 1 in Felgolis's range is a little dangerous. But she cannot concentrate on you for a turn.
That's fine.
Okay, and that is the end of its turn. Sheila, what are you doing?
I'll blast it with a star for my bonus action.
Okay.
27 radiant damage.
Alrighty.
And for my action, I'll point the staff up and shoot a fireball at it.
A fireball? Okay. Let me attempt a dexterity saving throw. I'm going to use, oh no, I only had 1 DM inspiration, so I'm going to burn a second legendary resistance. So because I rolled a 7, which I don't think makes it, and so it only takes half of that damage. As you fire up one of your stars, radiant energy bursting by its face, and then a fireball called from the skies onto it. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Fea is panicking a little bit, kind of looking down at you like, oh shit, I can't help you right now. But is going to just try to keep hammering into this thing and killing it. I believe she has advantage from Lydia, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that first bite is at advantage. That's a 25, which definitely hits, and then I'm gonna roll the others before I take damage. As she's just kind of clawing into its right shoulder, trying to deal as much damage as possible. All 3 of those hit for a total of 40 damage, which gets halved to 20. Okay, Kieran.
Alrighty. Well, I can't do my full thing that I wanted to do, but I am going to, pop up here. I can just hit its ankles, right?
Yeah, you can definitely just hit its ankles.
Okay, because you failed to realize I had a regular rapier this whole time!
Okay. It is, non-magical, so it will be resistant to it.
That's fine!
Hey, you can still attack, even without your magical Fea sword.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'm gonna throw a green flame blade on this as well.
Okay.
It's a 27 to hit,
That definitely hits.
and then that's going to be 11 piercing damage, plus the 9 fire damage, plus the 7 sneak attack damage.
Okay, so that's 27, and all of that would be half because it's resistant to the non-magical piercing and the fire.
Yes. That. Oh shoot. I would've. Nope. Never mind. I can't do that. I keep forgetting the thing that I want to do. I can't do right now. And then I am
not a warlock this turn.
Yeah, that's fine. And then I am going to throw on. Do I want to throw on a flourish? Yeah, I'm gonna throw on a defensive flourish.
Okay.
So it'll take an extra 4 damage in total, so 2.
Cool.
And then my AC will increase to 20 until the start of my next turn.
Alrighty. Nice. As you come forward, and I just imagine you, like, you don't have your warlock energy, but you're still in this fight, and you take your rapier out and just, like, rush forward, and in the back of it's where you would assume its Achilles tendon is, you drive the rapier down in, and you feel it hiss as ice begins to slough off around you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Alrighty. And then I get 5. Oh, that's all I'm gonna do for right now.
Okay.
Actually-
Oh, go ahead.
Can I offhand attack it with a dagger?
Yeah, definitely.
No, 19 doesn't hit, does it?
19 does not hit.
Damn. Oh, wait. No, I have the talisman just adds a d4 to saving throws, correct?
Let me check. I think it is just saving throws, but let me take a look-see. Yeah, Yeah, it's just saving throws, unfortunately enough. Alright.
Okay, Felgulis.
Alright. Legendary action. Sorry.
Oh, just kidding. Do it first.
30 to hit,
Does hit.
Cool. 15 fire damage.
Alrighty. As it's kind of talon attacks the back of its head. Nice, nice. Okay, Felgulis is gonna go, and he rolled a 2 and also does not get his breath back, which is kind of sad, but probably okay. Because none of his breaths would be super helpful here. Okay, bite, claw, claw. And all 3 of those do hit for 20, 32, half to 16 damage as Felgulis continues to bat into the back of this thing's head. Okay, what is Caldera doing?
Alrighty, Caldera. Question, can I take a legendary action at the end of Felgulis' turn before this new round starts?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. 32 to hit for 13 fire damage, and then he's gonna hit him again. 31 to hit
Okay.
for 17 fire damage, and then 28 to hit for 14 fire damage. He's gonna get in his space for 8 fire damage, and then move over here.
Okay. As Caldera does so. Caldera's looking fine, right? Has not taken much damage?
Caldera's looking good.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Okay, Lydia, what are you doing?
Alright, I'm going to touch this guy's big toe and cast Inflict Wounds on it.
Okay, love that. Go ahead and roll the hit.
That's a 22.
That does
Oh,
hit.
yeah.
Alright, so I'm up on level 3, so that's 5d10s.
Hell yeah!
Nice. So with that, you just reach out, touching this creature on the boot, the big toe of the boot, and you watch this necrotic energy begin to crack all the way up the ice, and ice begin to fall off, and bits and pieces of its armor begin to fall off, and this thing is starting to not look so good.
Great, I am going to use my bonus action to... Well, that's not going to help at all. No, I'm just going to give Thea advantage again.
Okay.
Half health, baby!
Sounds good. Miriam, coming back from the brink of death, you are prone.
I'm going to, you know what, it's not the smartest, but I'm gonna get up.
Please take a health potion! You have them!
It's fine.
Nope.
Fine.
It's fine. Okay, you have a plus 11, right?
Yes. Yeah, fuck it. Ball.
Fuck it, we
Fucking
ball.
meatball.
Yep. Okay, so the 9 and above hit.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Honestly, I think, I would love, if anyone ever has the energy to go back through and watch to see how many freaking nat 20s Miriam has rolled. Like, please, I need to know.
It's like one every turn.
Right?
At least.
Well, that's the good thing about 8 attacks per turn.
True.
Your chance
True.
You statistically.
Exactly. So 6 of that is fire, but 57 damage.
Okay. Sounds good as your 8 Eldritch Blasts, and it turns to look at you like you're not dead yet.
I'm gonna legendary reaction at the end of my turn and have fucking bitch face get into his space again and fiery talons at his face for 31 to hit. For 20 fire damage, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
What can we?
Fuck it, we ball. And with that, this thing is going to dig its hands into the ground and is going to step to the side and launch up a 100-foot high cylinder of ice. And that is going to be, hold on, I need to move my turn order. Right here, and catch these three. So both the dragons and Kieran are kind of like smashed into this pillar of ice as it begins to rise from the ground. So I need all three of them. So Kieran, a dexterity saving throw, please and thank you.
16. Ooh, I get to add plus 54. Hold on. 17.
Okay. So with that, hold on, let me click back over to the right tab. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that means none of you save. So yes, none of you save.
23 doesn't save, I'm sorry.
23 does not save.
What's the point?
What is the dragon could have rolled a nat 20? You could have rolled a high enough. So, with that, you all three take 39 bludgeoning damage and 20 cold damage as you are launched into the sky and pushed vertically on the top of this the cylinder. So you're all kind of like sitting on this pillar there. So that's a total of 59 damage.
Cool.
Felgulus up there with you is lying, and he is like panting for breath. He looks like he is barely holding on there.
Does he take half damage there?
Oh, you're right. He does take half damage. That potion of invulnerability is really doing the work here.
That's why we were like, you should take it. Please, this man's luck is so bad.
His luck really is horrible. Although he's the one who rolled the highest.
Against it, yeah.
Yeah.
So is he looking slightly better?
Slightly better. He's looking like he's on 45 HP instead of 15. But you three are all at the top of this 100-foot high cylinder. Alrighty. And yeah, let's keep it moving. It's going to use its bonus action to move without provoking opportunity attack. Sheila, it is going to move into your space, and you kind of get shoved out of the space. So I'm going to move you over to here as this thing is like rolling all the way through. And both Faya and yep, thank you. So you do make your save, so you're fine. And then I need Faya to also roll a Constitution saving throw.
Yes, ma'am. Does a 30 make it?
Yes, a 30 does make it.
Also, when do I get stuff back on these rounds? At the end of its turn, or at the end of Faya's turn? At
the end of its turn. So you have to pass another, or you now have your warlock abilities back.
Cool.
Okay. Sheila, what are you doing?
How'd you say it looked?
It's starting to look bad, especially you can see like the necrotic energy still running through the ice and the bits of Miriam's energy breaking off its breastplate.
Okay, I'll use my bonus action to shoot it with a star.
Okay, 27 hits.
27 damage.
Nice.
And I will throw another fireball at it.
Okay. So, dexterity saving throw. That's a 17. What's your DC?
19.
Okay, I'll use another legendary resistance.
Burned 3, folks.
I burned 3. Now the question is, how many do I have?
That is the question.
5.
I'm not saying anything.
I know you.
I did not homebrew this creature. I want that to be clear. Okay, so a fourth of that between all the stuff. Oof.
Alright, I'm done.
Okay, sounds good. My brain just froze for a second there. Okay, got it. Nailed it. Done. As you actually, with your star, blast off a corner of its crown, and it, like, roars at you for that, and turns its eyes on you as the fireball kind of hisses around, steam releasing into the air. So... Okay, hold on. Faya is going to move to here. And unleash. I'm gonna make these public. 1, 2, 3. Oh, what?
She does still have that D6.
Okay. I will do that on the first one to attempt to, because that's the one that does the most damage usually. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So, it takes half 36. As Faya's, kind of from the top, she's still standing on the top of the pillar, and she's, using it as a purchase to kind of bat into this creature. Okay, Kieran, you are on top of a pillar that is, essentially, like...
Okay. Am
this.
I able to get within melee range?
Yes, you are, with the pillar the way it is. So you can rush. So my little blue circle is where the pillar is right now. You can run across it, and you are 100 feet in the air, which is... This creature still towers above that. Probably about another 50 feet.
Yeah! I'm right here.
Okay. You can just hit it.
Cool. We're gonna burn some shit. Okay, I'm gonna bonus action cast Hexed.
Cool. It is now hexed.
Yes, and the ability it's now gonna have disadvantage on for its ability checks, but so that wouldn't affect saving throws, correct?
No, it would not affect saving throws.
You know what? We'll do strength for this thing, just for funsies.
Okay.
All right, and next we're gonna we are going to, with Faya's blade, we are going to green flame blade it. Actually, no, I'm just going to regular attack it. Does a 28 hit?
28 does indeed hit.
Okay, so that's gonna take, and this is magical.
Okay, thank you.
So that'll be 12 piercing, 10 sneak attack.
Okay.
That'll be an extra d6 from the hex, so it'll be that 4 necrotic.
Okay.
We're gonna throw on another bardic inspiration for another flourish.
Cool.
Which I am going to do another defensive flourish. Shoot, sorry, I just clicked the first thing, but that's an extra 6. Ooh, I get 24 AC for a hot second.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna smite on this.
Okay.
So that's going to be, because it'll be, have to be at 5th level, because that's my second pact spell. Second pact. So that's going to be, shoot, I think that's 5d8, but let me double check real quick. Oh, I was like, let me do my shit, please.
Now that you actually can. Get it out, just in case.
Yeah, honestly, that's what's happening here. And it's not huge or smaller. Okay. So, no, it'll be 6d8. How do you do the roll thing again? /R.
I was like, I don't know, don't ask me.
Flash roll base 6d8.
Okay, so it's roll. Oh, I forgot the R.
Ol. Fuck it, we ol.
Yeah, an extra 32.
Okay.
So that'll be
what
a
kind
total,
of damage is that?
I believe it just force damage.
Okay, sounds good. You don't need to total it up. I've been taking the damages. We've been going.
Well, I want to total it. What happens if I want to total it up?
Fine, you can total it up in your own time.
Because I just did a whole bunch of miscellaneous damage. Was there anything in particular that didn't affect it?
You did necrotic, which was fine. Your magical damage was fine, and your force damage was fine. And so
Okay, cool.
how this looks is you rush across the top of this pillar that just got shot into the sky as it reformed the glacier around you. Pulling out your blade that Faya charges you with, smoke billowing behind it as you jab it into this thing's shoulder. A burst of necrotic energy followed by a burst of force energy all the way through it. And you watch as the whole arm of, it's all of its left arm loses its armor. And this thing looks like it's starting to, it's getting to the end here.
Cool.
And
With my second attack. Does a 27 hit?
Yes! Okay.
It'll the extra just the 16 piercing damage.
Alright, okay, cool. And you just kind of like, there's like one part of its shoulder, like pauldron on, and you just dive your sword under that and flip it off.
Yep. And that's my movement, action, bonus action. I'm all done.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Felgulus, barely hanging on, picks himself back up and is like, "Oof, okay, got it," and is gonna come over here with Faya, kind of on the edge of the pillar. He's staying there and using it to kind of take back off again, and is gonna do his best to bite Claw. Yeah, he didn't. I have not, poor Felgulus, I have not rolled a 5 or a 6 on his dice at all.
He also has a d6 from me
Oh, that's right.
for
Let's
Bardic Inspo. No!
No, that's fine. He gets, so that is 28 halved to 14 damage as he kind of buries himself in, and you can tell that he is struggling. Okay.
Legolas, be careful.
Caldera.
Caldera is going to fly into his space. He's going to take the 3 fire damage. He's going to take a 28 hit, 12 fire damage. Then that roll 24 to hit for 19 fire damage.
Okay.
And then he is going to, he'll stick right here.
Okay, so staying kind of in that area as Caldera flies in, you see fire beginning to start to melt some of the stuff on its back. Okay, Lydia.
Okay, Lydia is going to try to command this thing into submission. I need a wisdom saving throw, please.
Alrighty. Your DC is 19?
That is correct.
Oh shoot, I'm so sorry.
What?
I gotta do it from the hex. I gotta do an extra 6 d6 damage.
Okay, cool. I'll count for that 3. So that
Sorry,
is
thank you.
a 31 to save for the wisdom saving throw.
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
cool.
rolled a 19. I rolled
And-
a 19.
I have DM Inspiration, a fuck ton of beads. Can I use either one to give it a disadvantage?
You could use your reaction and an essence pearl to give it a disadvantage.
Okay, I shall do so.
Okay, I will re-roll that. That's a 19.
Okay, my soda does never fail.
Can I silvery barbs that?
Yeah! Yeah!
Go team!
Okay, guys.
Bully the DM into submission.
Yeah!
So, I rolled a 17. However, I still have legendary resistances, and I'm going to use one more to resist.
Hey.
I'll give
Okay.
Lydia advantage on her next roll.
Nice.
Cool. And I will use my bonus action to give, since Kieran can finally hit like a badass, I'll give Kieran an advantage.
Okay. So,
Thanks.
sounds good.
I mean, I just burned all my shit, but thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Miriam, what are you doing?
Know what time it is, boys?
Miriam's on like 1 HP.
Fuck it, I blast!
Fuck it, we blast.
I should have killed you last round. I got
You can
greedy.
fucking
Okay, so 9 and above.
So, 9 and above? Alrighty. So
Yeah, because you have
that
an
is-
11, right?
Yeah, so that's 4, so 26, 6 of this is fire, so that's 50 damage. 6 of that's fire.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use a legendary action at the end of my turn to have Caldera go into him with a talent for 32 to hit for 19 fire damage.
Okay, that's halved. So as you fire your 8 Eldritch Blasts in, you begin to see the armor across one of its legs. The leg that's kind of near Sheila and Lydia begin to start to fall off. And it's looking real rough. Caldera coming in and like getting the back of its head, and you see a burst of fire energy. It is barely hanging on. However, it is its turn. And at the start of its turn, the ice that our good old dragons are on, as well as Kieran, disappears and plummets.
Cool. Reaction Featherfall.
Okay, so the 2 dragons can catch themselves flying, but you featherfall yourself. And so you will be mid-air next round because it was 100 feet in the air. However, in all of this, the ice begins to shatter, and you need to make a dexterity saving throw to attempt to avoid some of the ice falling from the sky.
Are you talking?
Yes,
I
to you.
can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Dexterity saving throw, please.
Yes, ma'am. 26. Ooh, I get to add just in case.
No, Felgulus! Felgulus, please! Oh, someone in chat roll me a D100.
Also, I hit a 28 for my dex save. Does that save, DM?
28 does indeed save. So, give me 1 second to resolve this here. So okay, so actually what happens is as this happens, one of the things clips his wing, and he not only doesn't dodge but is taken all the way to the ground. So with that 27 on the critical hits table, he is going to actually fall prone. If you want to, Kieran, I will say that you can retroactively have cast Featherfall on him as you see him plummeting.
I probably would have still instinctually casted it on everyone I could see.
Okay, so he's not going to take damage from the fall, but he is going to be on the ground and prone, which takes half of his movement with that. So with that, Kieran, you do succeed, so you're going to take half of this. However, Thea and Felgulus fail, so they take full of this.
Well, Felgulus takes half, but...
Okay, yep, you're right. Thank you for constantly reminding me, because I constantly forget.
I want this boy alive!
So you take 13 bludgeoning damage from all of the various things falling on top of you, as well as 24 cold damage from the cold and proximity.
Okay, so what would that be halved?
So hold on, let me just total it up for you. So that's 37 halved is 18.
Oh, I forgot to heal the last 2 rounds. Hold on. Okay, 18. Thank you.
Okay. Felgolis is on the ground, like, breathing hard, struggling, like, trying to shake bits and pieces of ice off of his shoulder. And as you're, like, still kind of floating down from the effects of Featherfall. So that was the reaction from the previous round. And it is going to reach up, down and throw another glacier at Miriam, because Miriam is the bane of its existence at the moment.
It off as I'm getting ready to go down.
Okay, so that's a 26 to hit you even with disadvantage?
Yeah, I'm going down.
Okay, so you fall unconscious as you flip it off going down. With that, it's going to pull another glacier up and whip around and, actually, I think Sheila did probably... No! Kieran did the most damage last round. So it's going to throw at you as you're falling, attempting to hit you. That's a 34 to hit?
34 hits me.
Okay, so you take 41 bludgeoning damage and 15 cold damage. So that's a total of 56.
I'm still up.
Okay, as this thing hits you like a truck. And I'm going to say that you're not going to take fall damage because of the feather fall, but it like slams into you and shoves you down onto the ground so fast, almost like what Felgolis had just gone through, and you are now prone.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Is that the end of its turn?
That is the end of its turn.
Legendary action, 23
Okay.
damage.
Beautiful. Another 8 fire damage there. Okay. And it's breathing heavy. You see ice pouring out of its mouth as it turns. Sheila, what are you doing?
I'm gonna bonus action hit it with a star.
Okay.
21.
21 does indeed hit, just barely.
28 damage.
Okay. As you catch it in the throat. And it, like, goes almost all the way through, and it is, like, barely holding on there. But it turns to you.
Alright, I'll scream up, I've licked popsicles tougher than you! And I'll cast Power Word Stun on it.
Okay. What do I roll?
Nothing. If you're under 150 HP, you're stunned.
Okay, it's stunned.
Pour it on! And then I'll action surge and jump up and Great Weapon Master attack it. With a booming blade attack.
Sheila, pop up!
Yep.
She was like, I've been waiting for this shit.
You know it.
So 26 damage.
Okay, how do you want to kill this thing?
Well, nice.
Yeah!
Sheila will just start jumping up to its face and shove her staff in its mouth and let loose a giant lightning bolt.
Okay, as the lightning goes all the way down through it, thunderous energy, shaking off all bits of the ice, and you watch as your staff begins to split through this whole thing. And on your way down, you see a glowing heart in the center, and you instinctually reach out and grab it as you alight onto the ground. You probably take a little bit of damage in that fall there, but it's fine. And this thing shatters all the way across, and the snow is disturbed, and then begins to fall. Well done, guys. You did it. And I need a death saving throw from Miriam.
Absolutely.
Can I... Are we out of combat?
You are now out of combat.
Cool, I'm gonna... After Miriam rolls, I'm gonna action teleport to her with the talisman.
Okay.
Oh, also, I took so much damage. I'm assuming my hex is so far gone.
I have too many pieces going. There we go. Sorry, I was listening to like 4 musics at once and my brain hurt.
Yeah, I'm assuming my hex is gone, considering the
Yes.
fact that I can't roll higher than half of
Yeah, you took
Yeah,
a lot of damage. So, as Miriam succeeds on her death saving throw, you guys watch as Kieran disappears into a whirl of ash, smoke billowing behind him, and appears next to her. What are you doing?
I am shoving a potion of greater healing into her mouth.
Okay, so...
shitty damage, but 13!
So, Miriam, you come back to life with 13 HP. And...
I regain 5 hit points.
Oh, cool. And you regain 5 hit points. Sheila does as well. As you lay in the remnants of this glacier, it completely burst around you. You see bits and pieces, as well as you see frozen frost giants completely encased in ice, probably hundreds of feet off. It looks like there's cracks starting to form on them, so you should maybe evacuate the area rather quickly. And with that, doorway appears, and Tobias steps out of it with Astra around him and says, well, that was intense. I was watching from afar. Nice job. Did we find the essence crystal? And Sheila, you look down at the thing in your hand. It fades as the energy begins to dissipate as it had been working, and it beats twice and then comes to a rest. And you watch as the glowing kind of dissipates into this crystalline but still pearlescent, about palm-sized item.
I believe you mean this, and I'll hold it up.
Okay. He grins. Yes, that's exactly it. Now, let's get somewhere warm and safe, looking at Miriam and Kieran like 100 feet off. I believe Kieran's probably like arm over Miriam and like trying to huff it back, and Faya
I am currently at... Oh, sorry, please finish.
Faya, like, actually takes off and flies over to you and kind of, like, gets down so that both of you can get on to make it a little bit faster.
Thanks. Miriam, I was at 6 HP at the end of that.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Karen.
I'm gonna give you my other potion. It's just of regular healing, but still.
It's fine, I've got this one. I was holding on to it. I'm gonna drink my potion of greater healing.
Okay.
I'm gonna regain 5 more HP.
Cool. You regain 5 more HP.
I like to imagine that the troll heart, you just see, like, weird energy. If you could see, like, his stomach with just, like, weird, like, life energy just kind of, like, pulse.
Yeah.
And then just, like, fade up, and he just looks slightly less like shit.
Yep. That's exactly what it looks like. And as Caldera is continuing to joyfully melt the ice in the area, kind of dissipating this creature, Tobias, like, looks at it a little like, okay, and then says, are we ready? We should get out of here as soon as possible.
Yes, Miriam will turn. Caldera, I'm assuming once you pass, you'll go back to your plane, so you have fun giving these giants hell, alright? Melt them to the fucking ground.
Caldera turns and looks at you, and you just see a vicious grin and fire shoot out, like, yes! And it continues to, like, scamper in the snow for a little bit, and then takes off, flying over. And as they fly over, it's like, have you guys seen Fantasia, where, like, oh gosh, it's a Tchaikovsky piece, Firebird, where it, like, takes off over the land and it, like, grass grows. It's like that, but fire's melting as it takes off towards the giants, and you start to hear, like, clamors of stuff happening in the distance. And Tobias reaches out and has you all in circle and grabs a hand, and you like, teleport, and it's like stepping through a gate. And as you open your eyes, it's warm, it's safe, and you are back in his tower, in his home space, in one of the top floors. And with that, he immediately, kind of, like, leans over and hobbles towards one of the sides of the couches and like sits down. All right. I think with that we have succeeded. We have succeeded. Not only did we get the essence crystal away from that clan of frost giants, but we also are able to not only advance one dragon, but two. So with that, I think that we can start. And now I know how to create a dragon. I know how to advance it fast enough. So these giants will be checked. So thank you all.
I don't know, is that even needed at the moment? We did kill a whole buttload of giants ourselves.
This is just the start of it. Frost giants aren't even the highest up on the ordning. There's still storm giants and cloud giants to contend for, as well as fire giants who are more down south. My reports have said they've been acting up, but I'm hoping that with the appearance of two, hopefully, ancient dragons after we continue the ritual, that even just their presence and maybe adventuring and maybe a little bit of killing of giants will scare them into submission for a couple of years to come. At least until the other dragons can grow in size.
Happy to help.
I'm still not convinced this is a wise idea. What's to check the dragons?
The giants. And we just created two very good dragons.
Yes, but these dragons are eventually going to have babies, and the babies are going to have babies, and so on and so forth.
I mean,
Karen in the side.
I cough violently and say, "Our children will most likely not be dragons."
Faya at this point has, like, gone down to her normal elven-ish form. Felgulus has reverted to his halfling form and is passed out on the carpet.
I did give him a potion of healing.
Okay, he was, like, almost conked, and you actually, like, literally, as you were giving him the potion of healing, his eyes are golden in his halfling form, and you saw, like, little swirls of stars in them. Like, he got his shit rocked. Even with the potion of invulnerability.
I have an important question. How much HP was this man on?
He was on 27.
And I'm very glad we gave this man the potion because he would be dead.
Yo, he definitely would be. I mean, you essentially doubled his HP from 212 to 424, and he took that much damage. Yep. He tanked. He tanked for you. Which is what this group needed, desperately. So he is conked out, sleeping on the floor. And Faya is, like, sunk into a chair, and she's like, well, we don't know that, Kieran, darling. We'll see what happens in the future.
I'm gonna look at Faya and be like, please do not talk about this. We haven't even done anything. Please.
She grins at you.
He's so red. He's so red.
And then, Tobias leans forward to answer your question, Lydia. I guess, if giants are the natural enemies of dragons, then one would say that evil dragons aren't the natural enemy of them, adventurers such as yourself.
True, but we've been over this before, so I don't want to rehash this, but you're introducing a new predator inside of an ecosystem. And while it balanced out in other planes, there's no guarantee that it will balance in this one, especially since these aren't typical dragons.
Well, you're right. However, considering the fact that two of the gods in the Pantheon, who I have interacted with personally before I came down here, have not only given me signs, but dreams and divinations. I'm going to assume that they've got it, and they'll deal with the repercussions of their actions as the Pantheon of gods.
Alright, fair enough.
Although, one could argue that Atola, the dragon goddess, just wanted more dragons.
Where's your kitchen? I'm gonna go make good food.
All right. And so, with that, I think that's a good place for Kieran goes off pattering into the kitchen, starting to make good food. Felgolis is conked on the ground, and Fea very shortly after, kind of curls up in a chair, which is really weird to see, like, this archfey-like creature, kind of, like, all wrapped up in a blanket, curled up on the chair. The rest of you beginning to recover, and we zoom out of the tower, and we watch this scene as things have settled. There's also a brief glance as you watch Caldere, like, tearing apart these giants with their flyby, and a lot of feet of movement, and, they are all fucked.
Yeah!
And with that, I think we're going to come to this mini-campaign's epilogue. So in the weeks to come, you all take your time. You heal. And I would say for the most part that you all head back towards the Wyvern Wing Adventuring Guild of Rosewick for some of you to collect your reward that you had been promised, and for others to return home or to see where you're going to go from there. Felgolis stays behind with Tobias, and before you leave, Kieran, they do manage to complete the ritual, and you watch as Felgolis doesn't quite grow in size, so he still is on the cusp of being adult and ancient, but he does gain the fullness of his powers, so he does not need to have essence pearls to fuel him, and he has access to his legendary resistance and actions. Fea, however, with the increase in power, does grow to an ancient dragon with everything that it holds, and she is a powerful being that radiates it, even in her humanoid form. And so the five of you depart after a bit of time resting in Tobias's tower. And he, with the promise of assisting you if you ever need it and ever come by. And you watch him and Felgolis waving at you, and Astra kind of flying and watching you leave the valley that you had once entered weeks ago. And you make your way back to Rosewick. The snow dunes melting, the forest growing, as you return to the kind of on the end of winter, and back to the city of Nassau, where we began our adventure. You enter into the guild, and back to your normal life, and we're going to start with some of our epilogues. So I'm going to ask each of you, as you receive your reward, as you return to some of your homes, where you're going to go from here. So, Sheila, as you get your money, and probably a magic item or two of your picking to make sure that you can, where do you go from here?
I'm gonna go south, and I'm gonna fuck with some fire giants, I think.
Yeah.
Checks out. All right, so you charter a ship and kind of follow some rumors. So Lillian actually would, if you asked her, she would do some dividing and find some for you and kind of point them out on a map. And so you head south, probably to one of the southern continents, and off of the tip of the whole Pangea, and do find fire giants. You fuck with them, get them a little bit messed up, and knowing you manage to escape when the time is right. And I would say you come to be known as a giant slayer. Any other things to note?
No, I'll wither away doing that.
Okay, cool. I love that. Making friends in the south, probably not, knowing Sheila. but you are known, and legends have it of Sheila the Giant Slayer. And Miriam, what are you doing? How do you spend the rest of your days?
Miriam, once she gets back and gets both her monetary reward and her reward just in standing in the guild, begins to turn what was her more unofficial home for wayward warlocks into something a little bit more official. Helping either warlocks who are a bit disconcerted with the pacts that they had made, or just helping new warlocks adjust to the responsibility and the rush that often comes with such a lifestyle. During her time, she picks up a young Genasi who becomes her apprentice. This Genasi is by the name of Hyacinth, and she is extremely restrained. Spends a lot of time in the library, probably commiserating with Lydia over her mentor, although she always seems a bit more amused than anything else. As Miriam takes more into her twilight years, I believe, with a bit of the power of this home for wayward warlocks gathered alongside her, she begins to stretch a little bit more into researching the planes and planar travel. Who knows, maybe to be blown into the plane of air, maybe to voyage into the plane of water, or perhaps just to get so zonked that she'd end up in the astral plane somehow.
Beautiful. I love that. That's exactly what happens, and maybe we'll see the impact of this House of Wayward Warlocks in the future. Alright, and I think we're gonna ask, yeah, let's just continue up the line. So, Lydia, what does the future hold for Lydia?
Well, Lydia, inspired by the research of Tobias, is going to continue researching that, and eventually, when she's satisfied she learned everything, she's going to probably travel off-world to get more knowledge of other worlds, potentially joining the Scribe Hall. Eventually, if she learns enough and if her god is okay with it, she'd like to ascend to a godhood, maybe a lesser godhood, and become the great librarian underneath the god of knowledge. And if that happens, she'd probably go back to Ilumelan to categorize all the knowledge. Once she's satisfied that that's done, she would probably hit up Tobias and see if he'd be willing to resurrect her as a dragon.
So with that, you're able to. As you are chartered into the Hall of the Scribes, as you, I don't know if it was ever revealed, but revere the Scribe, one of the patrons and pantheon. And you grow into this lesser being, lesser god, and carve out a little portion of his plane for yourself. In return, now, able to jump planes, categorizing a lot of the information, good and bad, into your personal library. And once that's secured and accessible for select few and those who worship you, as well as those in the Scribes Hall, you hunt down Tobias. And Tobias is barely hanging on to life at this point. I would say it's probably been about another 100 years, and has taken on an apprentice. Another elven person on his younger years who was one of the lords in Rosewick, who had chosen to step out of lordship and go study in the ways of knowledge. And it takes convincing, and it takes pressure, but Lydia does not give up. And as she pressures down onto this apprentice, he does. And he gifts you the form of a blue dragon. And you sacrifice a bit of your power, and you sacrifice a bit of your plane. And you are resurrected as an adult blue dragon. And we'll see what the future holds for this blue dragon now roaming Ilumelan with a thirst for knowledge above everything. Alrighty. Anything else to add, Lydia?
No, that's pretty much it. Although if Miriam's still kicking, Lydia would probably still throw snowballs at her.
Okay, checks
Very
out.
failing astral plane.
Yep.
Although the snowballs now are the size of like a cat or something.
Yeah, I was like, I'd like to imagine in dragon form still throwing snowballs.
Perfect. Okay, Kieran.
Alright. A lot of chilling initially. Showing Thea around. A lot of cooking. He would have definitely offered to help Miriam with her home for wayward warlocks. Right, candle, no! That's a fade to black, thank you.
Carry on, carry on.
And then I think what he would do is he would, after a bit, letting Thea kind of like figure out herself, figure out how being in this place works, he would let her take charge on adventures. She gets letting her decide what they want to do, where they want to go, letting her do what he promised her, which was to explore the world.
All right.
And as he grows old, I don't know if he would look for immortality or a long life, but I think if Thea wanted to continue their adventures, then I think he would explore that as well, trying to find a way to extend his life so that they could continue their adventures.
All right. And so I think that's something that maybe we'll see in the future as to whether or not he succeeded with that. But she does indeed want to take off. So after a couple of years of settling down, you do take off. And you travel the world looking for a great place to kind of like settle down. And for her, she has a natural hoarding tendency, but especially being an ancient dragon. And while friendly and a little like standoffish at first, she wants to learn history. She wants to know the world. And so she wants to gather objects and things that pertain to that. And so you do that, traveling around, learning about different cultures and kind of categorizing a lot. I just said two words at once. That was weird. Categorizing a lot of it and eventually settling down, I believe, probably somewhere in the north, which appeals to her, especially with the darkness for a lot of the years. And
we have so many poisonous plants.
Yep, you have so many poisonous plants in your space, which grow even though it's kind of cold. And I think that that's where we'll leave you, and we'll see what happens in the future, whether or not Kieran was able to obtain enough longevity to live out many years with his wife, and whether or not they were able to, see if there's some little dragonlings roaming around.
Mm-hmm. Regardless, very happy and making lots of food. Alrighty. And achieving his goal when heading north, which was to free his wife. And so I think that with that is where we are going to leave this adventure. And this is the end of In the Eyes of the Stars. So thank you to all of the players. You did a fantastic job. I loved each and every one of your characters, as well as what you were able to bring to the story. And this was a great group. A lot longer than I was expecting, considering I thought this was going to be 6 to 8 sessions and it ended up being 10. But that shows me.
Zari, we bypassed half the combat.
I know, but you also roleplayed like 4 sessions straight. And you're right. It was great, and I loved it exactly the way it went. This was definitely a group that did a lot of creative combat and was a really great example of what players who are in that tier 4 category are able to accomplish with a lot of creativity. So amazing. I appreciate it. And so we'll see what the future holds. There will definitely be at least 2 more mini campaigns in this era before I will be running a full campaign in this era. So stay tuned. Continue to support us on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, go ahead and leave a like. I appreciate you guys. And for those who are here and active on Twitch during it, thank you to you as well. So, and with that, I think that brings us to our conclusion of In the Eyes of the Stars.